Hey everybody, this is John Eric Bentley, the voice of Barrett Wallace from Final Fantasy VII, the remake, so many other projects, and more importantly, you are listening to Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. Yeah.
The Kasanova Podcast, the #1 podcast in Hawaii, is brought to you by these contributors on Patreon. If you'd like to see more content like this more often, as well as more podcast reviews, impressions, early access releases, live streams, and original content, then consider becoming a patron today. All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm your host, Mekel Kasanova, coming at you with another phenomenal interview. And in today's episode, we're going to be doing an interview with the one, the only Studio Nicktendo. Now, Studio Nicktendo does a variety of things. He does content creation when it comes to video games. He's done video game reviews in the past, streams on Twitch, and he's best known for his video game covers of games such as Fire Emblem Three Houses, as well as Final Fantasy VII Remake, as well as Persona 5 and Persona 5R, The Royal. And with all of that, you know, the musical background and so much more, we're just going to be talking about everything from the content creation journey, music creation, dealing with the stresses of trying to juggle content creation in real life, and so much more. So if you're ready to do it, I'm ready to do it. Let's go ahead and welcome Studio Nicktendo onto the show. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Miguel Kasanova. We have the Kasanova Podcast, Hawaii's #1 podcast. We are honored to have the one, the only Studio Nicktendo.
Yes, sir.
Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing good. Regarding the circumstances of what's going on in the world, like I'm still doing well. I'm doing well. So, just been on the grind, been hanging out, having a lot of family time, which has been great. Family time is way important. So with my job last year, man, I was working like 6 or 7 days a week, barely got to see the family, and then all of a sudden to have this happen is like, it's a blessing in disguise, even though it's a terrible thing that's happening, but it was just a blessing in disguise that way, to be with my family and be able to like refocus on the channel and what I want to do and stuff like that. It's been great for at least the artistic inside and family side, at least.
Exactly. And I'm looking at your background. I'm not trying to detract from anything you just said right now, but I'm looking at your background. I got a little envy. I see that. I see the Rode Go mic back there. I see the mic you're using right now. I see them headphones you got on. Come on now.
Man, I mean, you can go, not to plug, but you can go to sweetwater.com and get you a little package. You know what I mean? Get the package and stuff. Yeah, man. I love these microphones. This microphone, they're great. I love them, man. Like the Audio Technica does great for at least the podcast and some vocal takes, but that one right here, it's a beast. That microphone is a beast. I absolutely love that one.
Yeah, it's only what, 100 for that one?
Yeah, it's 100, and people will say they compare it to a Shure SM57. I think it's what the one, or what was the SM4, whichever one that was like the 300, the $300, $400 one. Like they're comparing it to it. I mean, it's comparable. It's not that one, but it's comparable to it at least. Like you get the bang for your buck for sure.
Cool. All right, man. Well, tell people where they can find you, what you're doing on your social medias, and tell us about your channel and everything like that.
All right. Well, you can find me everywhere. If you type in Studio Nicktendo in any social media, well, a lot of social, not any, but most common social medias, Instagram, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You'll find me. You'll find at least some sort of page with me in there. So if y'all go to there, YouTube.com, Twitch, even Mixer. I even have a Mixer, even though I rarely use the Mixer. I have a Mixer account as well. So yeah, anything, Spotify, Apple Music. I don't have iHeartRadio because DistroKid doesn't send me to iHeartRadio, so that's one thing. So like I can't get my stuff there yet. But
really,
Amazon, yeah, but Amazon Music, most music streaming services on there. So check those out. All you gotta do is search Studio Nicktendo, especially Spotify. That does help out a lot, at least on the Spotify.
Okay, cool. And man, let's talk about it. Let's talk about you've been a content creator for a couple years, been in music for a long time. Let's talk about like how's this journey been, man? Like let's kick it off. Let's kick it off with YouTube and content creation and Twitch.
Content creation. All right. So I always wanted to be a YouTuber. Like I was always a fan of gaming YouTube, right around the 2009, 2010 era, era. To think that was a decade ago. It's crazy. But like 2009, 2010, whenever YouTube was starting to have its rise, and there were a few YouTubers on it that I really like watching. The Black Hokage, to be example, he was my favorite one back in the day. Just watching him and his videos, and I was a big fan of that. And so I always wanted to do it, but it was one of those things where didn't know how. I didn't know how to use Google. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that I didn't know how to use Google, but you know what I mean? I just never Googled it. I never said, hey, how do I start doing this?
And then back then.
So do what?
It was not intuitive back then. Like trying to do stuff like now is like,
yeah. Like right now, it's more common. Like back then I didn't know you had to get a capture card or a PC to do, things like that. If I knew that, I would have put in the resources to do it, but I just didn't have the drive to do it. Plus back in 2009, 2010, I was playing a lot of music and in bands and trying to go on tour with those said bands. So it wasn't like a at the forefront idea, because music was more at the forefront at the time. And then, stopped playing music for a little bit. Bands broke up, calmed down a little bit, got me a full-time job, got married, kids, the whole, that whole thing. And then, it wasn't until about 2016, 2017 when I really got the itch to want to do it again. My buddy, Saltiest Gaming, he started his channel. And I was like, yo, how did you do that? And he was telling me, he's doing this and that. And he was actually doing his videos through Xbox, which is hilarious. He was like doing it through his Xbox One. So I was like, oh, cool. I don't want to do that, but I'll start to Google and research how to do it and then find the resources, and then started. And then, through being on YouTube and being in the community and, meeting different people, and, you meet people, network, and you get your group. I met you through Avidan. I met Avidan through, Smash JT. I met Smash JT because somebody that I knew retweeted one of his live streams, and I went through his live streams, and he was doing like, you never know how you meet these people. It just keeps going on and on and on. But that's how it works. Somebody retweets it, you go check it out. I met Avidan through that. Me and Avidan have been friends ever since then, which is crazy. It'd be crazy to think that somebody who I can't even remember retweeted somebody's stream. He was in the same stream, and that's how that happened. So like I said, just networking, and that's how I got connected in the YouTube game. As far as the old channel, like I said, I started out doing gaming news and gaming topics that wore thin. And I kind of wanted to go back to the roots of music, and that's where Studio Nicktendo happened. After that, I got thin of doing the topics and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I miss playing music. I have the itch. How do I fuse both of these together? You got Studio Nicktendo. So that's how it all came about.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though. I think for a lot of us, when we kicked it off, like, because gaming YouTube, like covering gaming news, that was like the hot shit for
yes, it was, dude. Yeah, man, like that was hot. That was the thing. Like, man, I'm trying to think, like Black Hokage, his crew, Gaming Illuminati, watched all them back in the day. And then, like I said, once again, I kind of fell off a little bit. And then once I got back into it, I started following everybody else on there, the Spawn Waves, all that stuff. But like gaming news was hot back then. Gaming, I will say this, and I really will say this. I feel like gaming drove YouTube for at least that better part of the decade. At least the better part of that decade. Just the gaming channels. You had so many gaming channels, and they were getting so much exposure, and it seemed like they were just all blowing up. Whether you had PewDiePies or, the PewDiePies, the Dashies, stuff like that. Just all of them started blowing up. So I feel like gaming just carried YouTube for at least 5 years of the past decade, at least.
Yeah, and it really got to the point where, like, with all the growth in gaming news, especially like, dude, when the Switch dropped, because Dude, you remember before the Switch came out, there's all that negativity. Like people were like, oh, Nintendo's going to fail. It's going to flop, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then it takes off. And I've always said this, if the Switch didn't come out with Breath of the Wild, it probably would have flopped out the gate. But it came with that.
Yeah.
And then boom, everyone's covering. It's amazing to see like everyone who's covering back then astronomically just blew up.
I mean, guilty as charged. I'm one of those people, right? Like I had the Wii. I didn't get the Wii U. I thought the Wii U was not fun. You know, forgive me, everybody, Nintendo fans, but I just didn't think the Wii U was that great. I didn't. So I didn't have the Wii U. I had an Xbox and that was it. So I was predominantly an Xbox for the latter part of the last decade, 360. That's literally all I played was Xbox. And then, 2007 came around and got the Switch. I was like, what is this thing? What is this thing? What is this little thing right here that has the two Joy-Cons? The two Joy-Cons, what is this again? What is this childish stuff, man? Like, what is this? This is awful. I don't want to buy that. It looks so dumb. Like, that was my mindset going through. And then Legend of Zelda is always one of my favorite franchises growing up. When I was a young kid, I loved Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. And so when I heard that they were coming out with Breath of the Wild, I was like, okay, all right. I still didn't buy it, but I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Still didn't buy it. And so I started slowly like creeping on like Breath of the Wild videos on YouTube, just kind of checking it out. All right, checking it out. All right, this is pretty cool. This game looks, this does look pretty cool. And then I started getting more details. It's open world. You can pretty much do whatever you want. If you want to go to the boss immediately, I was like, okay, all right, cool. I was like, I'm still not going to get it though. I was just denying the Switch, man. I was just like, I'm still not grabbing this thing, man. It's just too childish. Let me just play on my my third party machine Xbox over here. Let me keep playing Madden and Destiny and all that stuff. Like, right. So that was my mindset. And then my wife, which it's funny, my wife seems to be behind some of my better decisions I've made.
Ain't that usually the case for herself?
right. like surprise, my wife. So I was working a lot of overtime right around October 2017. And I was saving up for an Xbox One X. I wanted the Xbox One X. So, I want Xbox One. I want 4K, 30 frames. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. My wife was like, why you need that? You already have an Xbox. I was like, because 4K. You know what I mean? Like, I want to play in 4K. She was like, you don't need that. She was like, I want to Switch. And I was like, well, I want an Xbox One X. She's like, well, I want to Switch. Like, and so it was kind of a big argument. I was like, fine, you know what? You're right. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. Like that was really what pushed me over, was her telling me you don't need an Xbox One X. You need to get a Switch. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I went and got the Odyssey bundle. I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. Everything hooking up to my TV. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's cute. This is a cute little thing. This is a little side thing that I can do while, I'm playing all my serious games on the Xbox, and then I Odyssey beat it. I was like, all right, that's cool. But Breath of the Wild got me hooked. I went and bought it. I was like, you know what? I'll just get Breath of the Wild and I'll buy it. And then that's when I took this game seriously. That's when I took the Switch seriously. It was the Breath of the Wild, man, I feel like that's such a game changer as far as the Switch and the genre the Zelda franchise period, because I feel like if they didn't make that turn, people would still look at Zelda as, small, wimpy, cartoony. Breath of the Wild sort of gave it a more serious, hey, we can really make this a huge game, a huge open world game, and be taken seriously. It was dope. It was mind blowing to me. To me, it's still the best game on the Switch. Easily the best game on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about it too. Like, I know there's a lot of people that dislike Breath of the Wild, and that's fair. But
like, I don't see. Go ahead, keep going. I just don't see why. I don't see why. That's the thing about me. Like, I don't see why people are just, like my friends who are quote unquote casual gamers, which are just the dudes that come over to my house and play whenever they don't have, but they grew up with me playing 64 GameCube. So they're still stuck in, if it's not Ocarina of Time or the Wind Waker, why are we playing it? You know what I mean? Like, they don't get it. And I told my buddy, I was like, dude, you have to play Breath of the Wild. It's mind blowing how awesome it is. He played it. He was like, I don't like it. I was like, what do you mean you don't like it? He's like, I just don't like it. He's like, it's not Link. He doesn't have a tunic on, like none of that stuff. I'm like, bro, do you not understand what you're playing right now? Like, do you not understand? Like, and that's the thing. Like, people who don't like it, they're just like, he doesn't have a tunic, and it's not Ocarina of Time. That's everybody keeps saying it's not Ocarina of Time. Like, that was 1997. 98 maybe. Was it 98?
98, yeah.
It's 1998. This is literally 20 years later, and y'all still saying like, yo, it's not Ocarina of Time? Like, come on. Get real. But man, yeah, I just don't understand why people don't like it. It's such a great game. All around.
So I'm gonna say
this for hours, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this because I know a lot of people really dislike Breath of the Wild or don't think it's great. And here's the thing: when people are like they wanted the older style of Zelda, let's look at the numbers. People were complaining every time. Like every franchise has gone through this. Zelda had Zelda 1, then they tried to do something different with Zelda 2. Zelda 2, it's still sold, but people hate it. They hate it now. Then they went back to the older style with Link's Awakening, Link to the Past, and then Link's Awakening. And then they decided, okay, we got the 64, got more powerful hardware. Let's do something different. Boom. They set the standard with Ocarina of Time. And then they kept doing it again. And people, you remember, people hated Wind Waker. They hated it.
I loved it, but everybody hated it.
Right? But all of a sudden now people love it. But back in the day, they absolutely hated that damn game. And then Twilight Princess came out.
And then they hated that too.
They did.
Which didn't make no sense. like that was the thing that killed me. Like okay, you hated Wind Waker. I get you. All right. The cell shading threw you off. You didn't want to be in that dang boat all the freaking time sailing across the sea. I got you. I understand. But when they go back and renege everything and give you exactly what you wanted, because y'all complained, we want a mature Link. We want this game. We want everything back. And they did it. Y'all complained. The play is that stupid wolf. That's the only thing you can complain about that game was that wolf. That's it. Like, just man, there's nothing wrong with Wind Waker. Nothing wrong with Wind Waker. I love the game. Game's phenomenal. I'll play that game again to this day. It's so good. But people just didn't like it back in the day. They threw them off. I remember reading reviews. I was like, as an 8th grade, reading those reviews. I was like, what? I was like, this is not my experience right now. As an 8th grade, I was like, y'all whack. I was like, these magazines are whack, bro. They was killing me. It was making me mad.
It's the same thing. Like, and then when after Twilight Princess, and then they wanted something revolutionary and different. They didn't want the same formula. And then we got Skyward Sword, and then they hated that. They hated the Wii Plus, the Wii Plus motion controls on that. And they were like, this is stupid. Right. Like every time they've tried to innovate this game, they've complained. But they want Ocarina of Time. They always want Ocarina of Time. But here's the deal. You're not going to get Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time was 1998. Like, they can only do so much. And then they gave you a redo on the DS. Go play that one. But, like, Breath of the Wild, man, it's so good. It's so good. It's probably my favorite game of all time. I'll be real with you. Next to Mass Effect. I take that back. Mass Effect's my favorite game of all time. Breath of the Wild is number 2. And the thing is, like, okay, so there are other things I've heard people say, like with Breath of the Wild, they're like, oh, it doesn't play like Zelda. I'm like, if you go back and play, continue. I've heard,
but I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. What do you mean it doesn't play like Zelda? You have a shield, you have a sword, you walk around, you get a horse, and you ride that horse around the field, like. But multiply that times 125. Tell me Breath of the Wild is not the original Zelda in a completely new environment. It's the same thing. It's the same game. They just added gadgets. Like, they added gadgets, and literally it's times, I don't know how much bigger the world of Hyrule is in Breath of the Wild than it was in the Ocarina of Time, but I would say it's like 150 to 200 times bigger. Like, and like they give you weather. They give you weather. You can go wherever you want. Anywhere on the world, climate changes. You go to the south. Like, it's one of the dopest games ever. I'm just gonna say that, and y'all just didn't like it. Crazy to me. And even with people saying that, okay, so one of the other things is a lot of people said it wasn't enough to do. Okay, granted, I can understand if you wanted more traditional style Zelda dungeons. But you guys got to look at it like this. It's my fucking show. I'll say whatever the hell I want to say. You got to look at
Breath of the Wild is the next step for the Zelda franchise. It's the new standard, like Ocarina was. Everything built off of Ocarina. They're gonna build off of right now. Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild 2, guaranteed that's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and then some. Here's the deal. They've heard everybody's complaints. Like, I understand why they did what they did. So they gave you the shrines as your puzzles. Then your divine beasts are supposed to be your quote unquote dungeons. Now they didn't give you like a water temple or a fire temple and none of that. Like all of them are pretty much the same. I understand people's plights there, but I think they substituted that fact by the fact that you go to 3 different areas that happen to be wind, fire, water, and ice. When you go to these places, I think that's what that was kind of doing. They were like, okay, well, you're already in the mountains. Why are we going to put you in a temple that is going to be like those mountains? Like, why are you going to make the divine beast like that? You're already going to a wind temple. Why are you going to make the divine beast like that? So, like, they gave you the same formula. They just sort of shifted it around a little bit. You know what I mean? So, like, you go to the desert, and then you go to the Goron, there's your fire. You go to the south, you go to Zor, there's your water, So they gave you the same formula. It's a little bit different. And then they gave you more puzzles and a lot more puzzles. That's the crazy part. Like, I'm pretty sure if you combine all the shrines, it's like, I guarantee you it blows the most recent Zelda's puzzles out of the water, like as the amount anyway. It's ridiculous. Plus, you get to travel and you do what you want, and you can go meet people, and you can go do all this, and you can buy a house and put stuff in your house. Like, you never got to do that in a Zelda. Like you never got to do these things in a Zelda game. Like, it's crazy to me.
Not only that, though, you also got, like, with the expansion pass, you got more stuff to do. You got the motorcycle you can drive around. Like, come on, people. They're letting you know that they're going to do so much more with the sequel. The last game that had only 4 official dungeons was, what was it? Majora's Mask. And people hated that game when it came out. Now they love it.
Now they love it. I mean, I'm one of those people that hated when it came out, but because I didn't understand it when I was younger. Now I play it now, I'm like, oh, this game's dope. But yeah, like, it's just, Gamer Thumb says that Breath of the Wild bosses were all the same. I understand it. I understand. Yeah. I understand. But what I'm telling you is that y'all got the formula that y'all wanted. They just sort of shifted stuff around. But
I definitely feel like part of me also feels like the game was kind of rushed out just so it could hit a certain deadline. I feel like they wanted to do a hell of a lot more with it.
Well, isn't that what they said?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they said? They said they had so many more ideas for this game, and they had so many more ideas for this game that they went ahead and made a sequel for it. Like, that's what I thought. Or at least that's what the rumor was. Like, the Breath of the Wild 2 was supposed to be DLC. Like, that was their ideas for just a separate story DLC, and they were just like, yo, it's just too big for DLC. It has to be its own game. Like, this, I'm confident in the current team right now that they have nothing. They have plenty of ideas. They're not going to run out of any ideas. Like, because it shows that they have plenty of ideas and just made a great game. And on top of that, this game has one of the best soundtracks ever. Yeah, musical soundtrack. And I mean, it's funny when you say that because, like, there's barely any music in the game when you play. Like, but it's still so good. Like when you're running through the field, nothing but wind and maybe a piano plays every once in a while, but it's still awesome. Like, it's just, I don't know. This game it's close to a perfect game that you can get, in my opinion. The closest thing you can get.
And it came out the same time as what's the other game that came out at the same time as it? Horizon Zero Dawn, which was and beat Horizon Zero Dawn at the Game Awards for Game of the Year when nobody thought it was going to happen. That's another thing. It whooped Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's never been heard of. Never been heard of. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn came out. What else came out that year? Oh man, I'm trying to think. Of all the Game of the Year. I just remember Horizon Zero Dawn. Mario Odyssey. It beat Mario Odyssey. It had to compete against itself in Mario Odyssey that same year. I still can't remember, but Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah, it came out around the same. Did it come out around the same time, or like I think a couple days to a week before it came out? And the crazy thing about that is a lot of people keep saying like Horizon Zero Dawn had to build a story. Okay, I'll give you that, you guys that. But here's the difference. At least in Zelda Breath of the Wild, and this has always been my take, when I compare Horizon Zero Dawn to Breath of the Wild, when it comes between the two of them, if I can see it, I can climb it and I can go there in Breath of the Wild. In Horizon, I have to look for an outline or something obvious for me to climb on. So that whole sense of exploration has limits over here that it doesn't necessarily have on Breath of the Wild. And that's why I'm so like, when I'm looking at it from like a game design, it's fucking amazing to me.
Oh, Breath of the Wild, 100%. Like you can do dang near everything you want to do that you want, like in that game. Like I've watched videos of people do dumb stuff with these abilities, fly all the way across Hyrule. Like it's nuts. Like, and like you said, like if you see it, you can climb it. Tree, you got it. Wall, you got it. You know, like if it's climbable, you got it. If you want to climb a cliff, you can climb it. You get to hopefully your stamina's all the way up, or you're gonna die. You know, like that's just it's such a great game. It really is. It's just
See, I you know, and this is the beauty of this show. It's like we get sidetracked. We can go down. We take a pit stop, and then we just get on.
Well, you said Breath of the Wild, man, and like you know, it's just I may have to play that game again. I'll be real with you. I'm playing Persona right now, but I may have to stop and play that game again just for a quick second.
So with that, so you know, you got you know, we were talking about gaming news and everything like that. A lot of people blew up and had like really good followings following that. We're seeing a lot of people that have transitioned from this being, you know, us just covering gaming when we can, covering gaming news, to like a lot of people, it's their career now, you know, within that time span. So like for you, like what was more of your journey, like along with covering game news? Because I know you've got your new channel now. You've been building that up. You're about to hit that 1,000 sub mark, and how's that? What was the point? Damn, I'm asking a lot of fucking questions right now. You know what? I'm gonna shut up. That's good. Just let you.
So what do you mean? So what do you mean? Like with the gaming news? Like what did I start, or what do you mean? What was the journey on that, or what made you decide to stop doing gaming news and to shift? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a story. So I was started the channel. And the channel was growing just a little bit here and there, you know, being on certain podcasts, doing my own topics, whatever. And so it was going great, you know, it was doing fine. What really happened was it was right whenever I'm going to say LP, I'm not going to drop his name. LP had that video that started the whole adpocalypse for YouTube. You remember that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So right around that time, you know, the channel was growing. I was getting hits, you know, thumbnails were working fine, tags, whatever. Channel was growing for what it was, because I went from 0 to about 100, 200 fairly quick. And then when all that happened, the channel started to, I guess you could say, suffer a little bit. You know what I mean? We just wasn't getting much traction. Doing podcasting here and there, it really didn't matter. People weren't finding the videos like they used to. And so I just had a few ideas here and there, kept grinding. I decided that instead of covering topics daily, like I would cover topics and edit the video and spend hours editing a video, putting it out. Nothing. I was like, you know what? Let me just live stream it and have like a sort of 30-minute live news show. You know what I mean? Like just talk about it, interact with people in the chat, hang out. We can discuss topics together. It's not really anything official because I'm, you know, but you know, you link your sources, you cite your sources and stuff. If you want to check me on this, click it. And then, you know, we can talk about it. And so I did that for a while. And so that was fun, but it started to take a toll on me, like mentally, because now I'm sitting here at work looking up the gaming topics while at work because I'm trying to get ready for the show when I come home from work. And started to take its toll on me. And then I remember one time I was doing this. I even put this on Twitter, like literally probably a week ago, which is funny. I said this. I was doing a show one time. A buddy of mine sent his followers through, like, "Hey, my buddy's doing a new show. Come check it out." And one of them kids came through. I don't know if he was a kid. He could have been a full-blown adult at this time. I don't know. He said, and I quote, "Hey, you seem cool and all, but I'm not going to sub and I'm not do this because I only get my gaming news from credible YouTube channels." Like, that was what he said. I was like, well, I mean, my sources are here in the description box. If you want to check me, they're all here. This is what I'm reading from. This is the news of the day. I mean, it's all over Twitter. Everybody's talking about it at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, check it. And now that was literally the beginning of the end. Like, I know that you're not supposed to let one person like hit you, but I was done with the gaming community at that point. I said, you know what? I'm done. The gaming community is just too much, bro. The gaming community is too much. They complain about everything, this and that and this, that. And so it was right around that time. I had to shift my content because I had to go back to a different work shift. So I couldn't do that live show anymore. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing these videos on Nintendo Direct called Top 5, where I talked about top 5. I started with music, really. And I love doing those, dude. Like, it was like I would talk about my top 5 tracks from this game, top 5 tracks from this franchise, top 5 tracks from this franchise, top 5 music battle themes from Final Fantasy. You know, it was doing that. And I enjoyed doing that a whole lot. And my buddy was like, "Hey, you trying to like become a music channel now? What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, I'm kind of just done with gaming news and whatnot." And then I was talking to Avidan, and Avidan was like, "Yo, you should become a music channel. Like, you should become a music channel." Like, yeah, I might do that. And then I started to Google once again, utilize Google people in the chat. If you want to do this, utilize Google a lot. Google is your best friend. So I Googled it and, found what DAW works. What do I need? What interface do I need? Stuff like that. How do I get started? And so I started doing it. And I put up my first video under Studio Nicktendo, which was aquatic ambiance from Donkey Kong Country. And people were like, "Yo, this is dope. You got to keep doing it." And I was going to do both channels at the same time. Like, the Studio Nicktendo was going to be like a side thing, you know, every once in a while I'll put a video out. Everybody's like, "Yo, this is dope. You need to do this." So I put out another one, and I put out a Dire Docs from Mario 64. So I put that out. People said that was dope. Put another one out. And then this channel started to just pick up. Grow. I hit 100 subs in a week. Now, granted, it's from the old following, but regardless, still I hit 100 subs in a week. I was like, you know what? Let me keep looking into this and doing it. And then I just fell back in love with making music again. You know, the process of making music, doing this, even though I wasn't writing the music, they were mostly covers, but you know, you're doing everything, going through the process. And that's what, that's what made me shift over, was just love of music. And then also getting tired of, and the mental drain of, I wanted to be able to do something that wasn't going to discourage me, you know, when the mental drain got there. Like, I love music that much to where I could keep grinding through that drain to keep doing music, you know. And that's one big thing about content creation. Like, if you're going to do the content creation on YouTube or any platform, like, it's got to be something that you love doing, like you will put the grind behind. Because once again, people want to start YouTube channels because they think there's going to be this huge return, they're going to blow up and be monetized all of a sudden. Like, I had a buddy ask me, you know, how long till I get monetized? I was like, bro, maybe a minute. Like, this is not going to be a quick return. Like, you're going to have to love the grind and love doing what you're doing in order to get through this. Like, it's going to be a minute. Like, especially since the way YouTube changed their algorithms and everything like that. Like, you're going to have to absolutely love what you're doing to be able to stay consistent with this, you know. And that's just what I hold true to, and that's why I made the shift. I absolutely enjoy doing these music covers. It's probably been the best decision. It was the best decision I could have made creative wise anyway.
And to touch on that, that's one of the things, like, when it comes to YouTube, like I say this a lot, and I'm glad a lot of people understand it, but you got to put the U in YouTube if you're going to do that. Yes. Because it's trying to do gaming. Like, I tried to do gaming news before, and I just realized, like, look, I do love gaming, but there's the other side, and we can dive into that too, but there's the other side of content creation and gaming that just gets draining. It is a mental drain on you when you're trying to just, you know, trying to keep up with every little thing. You're like, I don't really care about this game.
I don't every little thing, every other channel that you're competing with. There's a bunch. I'm sorry. Like, I've said this before. I said this earlier, but what once drove YouTube also became a demise for a community as well, because like I said, gaming channels were driving YouTube for at least a good 5 years. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you had this huge influx of gaming channels all over the community. And, you know, it's just like a horde of zombies trying to climb on top of each other, you know, to get to the prize, the flesh or the prize up top. You know what I mean? That's what it becomes. That's what this grind becomes like. And you got to be able to sit through that. You got to be able to work through that. And when I was doing gaming content, I got to a certain point and said, you know what? I let go and fell back down because I was like, I can't do this. I'm tired, can't do it. But, you know, and then I had to think, okay, what do I need to do? What can I do? The creativeness of what can I do to still do this? 'Cause I still want to do it. You know, I didn't want to just quit and not do it. I still wanted to create because it's always been a part of me is having creative stuff. But it was just, I had to rethink and reshape and rebrand, if you will, what you want to do. And yeah, man, like that's the crazy part about the gaming community is just so much. And like you said, when you're trying to come up with a topic and this news topic breaks and you're talking about it, well, it's not going to be, you know, 5 minutes later, even if you were lucky. Like, let's say you're a channel my size, you have a full-time job. Let's say you're lucky to be at home at the time this news breaks. Okay, so you put out a video. It's not going to be 5 minutes before the bigger channel has the video up about the same topic you're about to put out, and then all the views is going to go that way. You know what I mean? That's only a matter of time. It's hard to differentiate yourself when everybody's talking about the same thing. Like you said, you got to put the you in the YouTube. I wasn't willing to put the you, my you in gaming topics, but I was willing to put me into music. If that makes sense, and that's why the shift happened.
And you know, with the shift, like a lot of people will say that, you know, you can only grow if you're covering what's trending. And, you know, I'm split on that because one part, I understand that logic because what's trending, you know, if you're following the trends, yes, you're going to be on top of it. But like I have friends that do that are very successful on YouTube, following trends of, you know, gaming, politics, whatever. But when I talk to them when they're not on camera, they're fucking miserable because it's like they're like, I can't keep up with this.
yeah. I mean, that's where I was. I got miserable with it, you know. Avidan said the best balance is everything. You know, gaming is such a fickle thing. The gaming community is such a fickle community. You know, it's really tough to, I'm not going to say relevant, but it can be tough, you know, because, you know, this news topic may not be hot. It may be hot for 5 minutes and something else drops, you know, like this past week, Thursday? Everybody was waiting for that Ghost of Tsushima. What happened? Nintendo drops a trailer for Paper Mario. You know what I mean? Like that literally happened the same day. Everybody's like, Ghost of Tsushima's we're waiting for that trailer. The gameplay is gonna be amazing. Nintendo's like, oh yeah, guess what? Paper Mario's coming out. You know, things like that things change like that so quick. You know, and if you aren't there at the right time, you know, it's gonna pass you by. And I just, once again, I tapped out. Wasn't willing to do that anymore.
And you know, on top of that, like, especially for us, you know, creators that are doing this individually, we don't have the teams. Like if you look at bigger channels like Nintendo Life and many other groups, they have whole teams covering this. We don't have that.
No.
And you know, I give it up, and I'm gonna say this, I give it up to Player Essence for being able to stay on top of that, doing that by himself.
Right.
I give it up to him for that. Because that's not easy. I give it up to Spawn Wave. Well, actually, does John have a team now, or is it still just him?
I don't know if he has a team, but I don't think he's got a team. I think it's still just him. You need to check me on that. I'm pretty sure it's still just him. At the rate he's going, but he could be expanding. I don't know. I mean, if I was him, Avidan says Evan does editing for him, so there you go. I mean, he has people editing and stuff, but it's still him though. Like he's still putting everything together. He doesn't have like a whole team writing stuff and everything like that. But Spawn Wave is still him. It's just he's not editing the videos, which good on him. I don't want to edit any videos either. I'll be real. editing is tedious.
I hate it. I absolutely hate editing.
Mhm.
It's especially like I don't know what software you use. Like I use Premiere Pro, and I go between Premiere Pro. I started using DaVinci Resolve, and then I'm using Final Cut Pro X. And my main is Premiere. And out of nowhere, at times it can just either freeze up and crash, or just delete everything.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one having this problem. For real. Because, dude, ever since Adobe Premiere 2020 came out, it's been jacked up. I have considered going to Filmora. Avidan has been like, yo, go to Filmora. I'm like, I don't know if I want to. He's like, yo, go to Filmora. I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I'm considering it because there's been so many times I've been editing a video and then locks up, error, you lose your progress because it just crashed on you for no reason. I'm just like, why? Like I got to the habit where I'm hitting Control S every time I make a cut now. Like, cut Control S, cut Control S, cut Control S every time. Like that's where I got to because it's been bad.
Yeah. And then you get to a point where it's like if you like, okay, so like the review I did for Sakura Wars, I actually had to re-edit that 3 times because it crashed on me twice.
I feel your pain.
And then last one, I'm like, I have no passion for this anymore. I'm like,
I feel your pain because you can be making the dopest cuts, dude. Like you can be making the dopest, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cut here. Like when I make a video, I like to cut on every measure. I'll make a cut in every measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, cut. All right. So that way you get different angles every measure, that way it's not just boring on one thing. And then if there's something vital, I'll leave it there. Whatever. If it's a lead part, I'll leave it there. And you'll be making these dope cuts. And you're like, yeah, I mean, I'm really doing this. And then loading wheel. And you're just like, no. Like I remember one time I was in part of Avidan and like, here's the deal. I've been cutting down. Like I rarely say cuss words. Like if I get real mad, I'll blur them out. And I remember one time I was in the thing with Avidan and Avidan was like, yo, it's getting real if you start now out here cussing. I was like, yeah, this thing is really making me so mad. Like I was making some good dope cuts and then this froze. I was like, the agony, dude. It was so bad. But yeah. I may be moving on from Adobe Premiere unless they fix it.
And the thing that gets me is how much you pay for it. You're paying for it monthly. And it just runs like
doo-doo right now. It ran so great for the last 2 years. Yeah. Nothing. What? I just want to know what changed. Like is it the background rendering? Like what is going on with the program to make it happen? And be real with you, if it wasn't for me having Photoshop included in the package, I would already been gone. But since I still have Photoshop, I'm like, yeah, I'll deal with this for now.
It is broken my heart so many times. Just like, and that's when like people like some people want me to do like since I'm as I dragged your ass down the rabbit hole of Final Fantasy 7, I'm dragging everybody down.
I mean, we're not gonna get into that, but we're not gonna get into that's a whole nother podcast.
That's it's like everyone keeps telling me like, oh, you should make videos on that, and I'm like, and I tried, dude. I literally tried. I had all the footage, compiled it. I was like 2 cuts away from being done, and then it crashed. I thought it saved. No, and I went and reloaded it, and like 6 hours worth of work gone. I'm like, Benito, I'm done.
Oh man, like heartbreaking. That's so heartbreaking, bro. Like I feel that.
I just can't like and this is not trying to tell anyone who's watching or listening not to get Premiere or not to use Adobe products. They were working really good for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's just whatever update they did.
Yeah,
just ruined this.
Yeah.
And they have to know. You know how many error codes they probably be getting? They have to know how many by the amount of error reports they're getting. Like, why are we crashing all of a sudden? Why is everything crashing? They have to know.
Yeah. And it's like the other thing too, like, going back to putting the you back in YouTube, like when you start making content you care about, for you're doing, your music covers and original music at the same time. It's something that you have so much passion for. And you stop caring about the metrics. You still do stuff like, your tags and titling and everything like that, thumbnails, but that grind of obsessing about numbers and metrics. I know some people that they can't do anything but obsess over that. And I'm like, I don't envy you, because that can drive you crazy.
Yeah, like for a while there with the channel. So like if anybody goes to, actually, if you go to my channel, you'll see a trend. So like for a while there, I was just grinding out video per week. And then if you see around October and November, all of a sudden the videos stopped and you got one per month. And then I tried to do 2 hip hop covers because I was trying to expand a little bit, and you got 2 of those. And then there was another gap. And that was because, I kind of got tired, you know what I mean? But like you said, because it's a passion, you're putting the you in it, you start to get through that. And I think that's the important thing. Like, at least me doing the music portion of it helped me get through this. Because like if I didn't have that, I probably would have quit already. You know what I mean? Like the serious CC grind. Yeah. And that's what really got me, was worrying about the numbers. I was like, man, these videos aren't hitting like they used to. You know what I mean? Like that's what really got to me. So I started to try to well, what should I do here? Should I do this? Should I start changing? Should I do more anime covers? Should I do some hip hop covers? What can I get to get traction on the channel? Like I was obsessing over that for a while. And that's why no videos were coming out. Because, I was constantly dealing with that in my brain. And then I said, you know what? At the end of the day, let me just put out what I want to put out, and who cares what everybody thinks. Like, no offense to everybody who's subscribed. I appreciate everybody who's subscribed to the channel. You know what I mean? But like, at the end of the day, you're like, let me just put out whatever I want. I'm going to put this song out. I don't care if it's trending. Like the only thing I've done recently that was hot was the Final Fantasy VII covers. And that's because I love Final Fantasy VII. It wasn't because I wanted to do Final Fantasy VII covers because it was a hot topic. I genuinely love that game. So it was easy for me to do those. But, it was just one of those deals where I just got done with the metrics. Don't worry about them. Yeah, you put your tags in and stuff, but forget about it. Metrics are screwed up anyway. Algorithms jacked up. It don't really matter.
Yeah, because all they're doing is putting code on top of code on top of code on top of code. Like it, when people say, I've heard people say like, oh, I can teach you the algorithm. No, you can't, because the algorithm keeps changing. It's self-learning. They're not only is it's self-learning, but they're putting code on top of it. So it's like, it is what it is. You do the best that you can, but other than that, you can't be so obsessed over it. And then here's the other thing too. I'm gonna say this, and this is a hot take. Andrew, I see your comment. Metrics can help you focus. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm gonna tell you this. Here's the thing. It comes through clear people who are metrics focused versus people who have a passion. Like that, you can see a stark difference between those two types of people. And
I agree. I agree. Like, well, no, because I was gonna say, here's the deal. Like, for a while, I was worried about those metrics. I said, you know what, forget about it. Now that I got through that and I worked through that, now I'm looking at my metrics. Like, okay, now that I'm not too worried about it, let me actually look at these metrics and see. Will it help if I upload a video at said time in the day? Let me look at those analytics. Will it help if I do this and that? Let me look at the analytics. Okay, these tags aren't really helping out. I went back and started doing that after I got done obsessing with it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like after I got done obsessing with it, all right, cool. And then it became something of not something that I had to do, something that I wanted to do. And it became enjoyable. Like it almost like when I look at my analytics now, it's almost like it's not a thing that I'm obsessing over where I'm mad. It's like a challenge to me, something that I want to do. Okay, how can I raise this floor on the channel? How can I raise the floor in this video? How can I do this? Okay, let me upload during Wednesday at 4 p.m. because it shows right here most of my people are on it Wednesday at 4 p.m. You know what I mean? Like now I'm starting to really enjoy that part, not rue it and not be upset at it. And that's the best part about it. Like you just can't obsess over it all the time. You just got to just take it and use it for what it is. And because it's those metrics, at the end of the day, like I said, like Avidan said, the algorithm's always changing. Everything's always changing with this platform. And you just sort of just got to deal with it. You're in their ballpark. Yeah, you are. And it's like for me, like I switched from trying to do gaming news and gaming, just centrally focused on gaming reviews, to
doing the podcast, and it's just something where a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it was doing better metrics wise than, after it changed up to whatever, LP, after he did his thing, I saw that, my stuff's not pushed as much. So I'm like, all right, so what else can I do? My metrics on YouTube aren't doing that well, but my Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts metrics are doing phenomenal. I'm like, all right, well, that's where my focus is going. And I had an instance where, like, I've had some people, and I'm not scared to say this, but like I've had voice actors and people from the gaming industry who have come on my show, refuse to share it because they're like, oh, you're small, verbatim, you're a nobody.
Wow.
I've literally had that said to me by people from, some certain voice actors in gaming companies, or ones like this one, as y'all can see, who won't work with me again because I'm a nobody. Yeah, I'm using their headphones because the headphones is nice. But I've had that happen, and I'm like, okay, and I'll ask them, what metric are you looking at? Oh, I'm looking at YouTube. Okay. Are you looking at my podcast downloads? And they're like,
right.
Well, how much are you doing a week? Over 10,000 a week per episode.
Right. They don't see that.
No.
See, that's the thing. Like, that's the crazy part about it. And and that's the crazy, like what you said, because for me, I didn't know this. Mm-hmm. So when I started doing the music covers, I started uploading cover singles to Apple Music and stuff right around August. Started doing that. And I didn't really pay no mind. It was just like a thing like, okay, let me just upload to Spotify, whatever. Cool. It does well, whatever. Let me just still continue to focus on YouTube. And I went and checked the numbers for everything happening on Spotify.
Listeners.
Yeah. Like, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was this that was happening. Like I didn't know. I was so focused on YouTube. So at the end of the day, like the message I would give people is like, it's not just YouTube. There's plenty of other things. Like, there's plenty of other platforms. And that was my thing. Like, when I saw the numbers I was pulling, I didn't even expect those. I said, yo, there's something here, even though it's not like huge, but it was encouraging enough for me to be like, yo, I can do this. The numbers in Spotify and Apple Music were just baffling to me, even though by other means it wasn't very big, but at least to me it was huge. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And like you said, some people don't do that. They'll look at your channel and be like, oh, you only have 720 subscribers and this and that. I'm not going to give you the time of day. But then you could be killing it somewhere else, like you said, and they don't know that. Yeah. But then they just missed out on that demographic because, it's crazy. Like, I don't like, once again, that's a whole nother thing. When I'm bad mouthing people, I'm not doing that. But like that irks me when people one up people like that. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. Heck no.
Yeah, and the whole content creator journey, be going beyond just YouTube, like just content creation. If you're making music, you're making videos, you're making art, you're a content creator. You're creating content that people are consuming. I think people have this misconception that it's purely just YouTube or it's purely just Twitch. Like, no, if you are creating content, you're a content creator. And this is why, like, I got into this point, I want to say like a year ago, maybe. I got to a point where I stopped introducing myself as a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was at we were at E3 last year and at HawaiiCon, my wife and I, she would introduce herself. She'd be like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. I'm like, hey, I pulled her to the side like, hey, stop saying that. She's like, why? I said, because for whatever reason, people have this stigma about YouTuber. But if you say content creator, that sparks the curiosity of what's that? Like, what kind of content are you making? Right. And it opens the door of you can say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. I'm like, because you're not boxing yourself in. Oh, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm done. Like, you're not boxing yourself in, and people have a different perspective of you, where it's like, what is it you're doing? And it sparks the curiosity. And you know, whether you're doing stuff on YouTube, you're doing stuff on Twitch, you're doing podcasts, you're doing music on Spotify or wherever, you're creating content. And right now, especially during this pandemic, content is being consumed.
It's consumed. It's almost vital. It's been vital. Like content has been vital at this time, and it's crazy. You know, who would think in this time? Like, I mean, who would have thought that you would need content to not be bored? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing really on TV. There's only one thing I watch on TV, and that's sports. And guess what? Sports isn't happening. So
yeah,
I've been doing nothing but watching YouTube and Disney Plus, and that's literally it. Like that's been it. Like I've been consuming more. I've been consuming more content than I have been creating content. I've been watching, bro. This is the first time that I'll be sitting here. I'm like, who's live streaming? Nobody. Dang. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've been looking for content to watch. Like that's how bored, like that's how vital it is right now. I won't say bored, but it's vital. You know, it's crazy. Like I've been looking through so many channels trying to find new people, you know, no offense to people I haven't watched, but like watching new streamers. Maybe I'll come through and watch this smaller channel to give them a boost because I know what it feels like. You know what I mean? Like I've been doing things like that because, you know, what else are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, there are platforms that popped up like, okay, let's talk about TikTok. I don't really know how to use TikTok, but I've for whatever reason, like you know, the typical thing on TikTok is, you know, doing the covers or whatever. I don't know how people are doing all that stuff. I feel like an old man. Like, how do you operate that? So I'll take clips of something, either clips of my streams, clips of the podcast, or just me doing something, you know, random, and I'll upload it there. And I've gotten a lot of traction coming to my podcast, coming to my channel, my streams, just from that. And it's like,
you got to talk because
it's like
that's something I need to utilize because I don't even know how to use TikTok. I don't even know how to do that. Like, so we need to talk about that because
a good example, if you take like a clip of your covers, like take a minute-long clip, put it there. You don't even have to, like, you know, some people do all that transitions and cuts and stuff on TikTok. Right. You don't have to do all. Literally, you don't. You could take.
I've been doing that with Instagram, but I haven't been utilizing TikTok. I'm actually utilizing TikTok.
That's like, because you could do that with TikTok. Take a minute, put it there, just upload it. You don't even have to put a description. One thing I learned, a lot of people think like you got to put a description on TikTok. No, you don't. Just put tags. That's it.
Oh yeah, because people are, like my wife is on TikTok all the time, and she's just video. Like it's just video after video. I'm like, what are you watching? TikTok? I'm like, TikTok. Like, yeah, just scrolling through videos. That's what people are doing. They're just scrolling through all their videos. So I can see it. I can really see it. I've been doing the same thing in the Instagram, but I just haven't been utilizing TikTok. Look at me, sound like an old man. Snap face.
No, and it's crazy because like I forget who I was talking to, but they were trying to tell me they're like how like easy it is to hop between platforms. I'm like, it's not that easy. Like especially for us, like we came from the pre-social media era, and then coming into where it is now, where social media is so crucial to literally everything. It's like, okay, we got it. Facebook's trash. Okay, drop Facebook. We got Instagram. We got Twitter. You know, what else do we have? LinkedIn. I didn't realize how powerful LinkedIn is. LinkedIn is actually on some good stuff right now, especially for creators. So that's good to use. And then you got TikTok. So you got 5 platforms. Some people have told me to start using Snapchat. I feel like Snapchat kind of fell off.
I ain't using no Snapchat. Heck no. Nope. Yeah. Nah, I'm good on the Snapchat. Heck
I might do an OnlyFans though. Might do an OnlyFans, show some skin. Like here you go. Get some of that right there.
I don't think my wife would enjoy me getting an OnlyFans. She's actually in the chat. Hilarious that she showed up. I don't think she would really be. She would not welcome that idea of me getting an OnlyFans. That's just crazy.
I know, you know, just show some skin. Just pull your shirt down. And be like, there you go.
Heck yeah. There you go. Gotta, man, OnlyFans. But no, I mean, for me, utilizing social media for me, like I thought I knew, you know what I mean? Like always. Like I grew up in, I'm sure you did too, like the MySpace era. MySpace was huge when I was younger.
Dude.
Like MySpace was that thing. Like in 2006 to 2009, MySpace was it. Like MySpace was the place to be. MySpace was the thing to have.
Hey, your wife said if it's bringing in the money, she's down.
Well, it won't bring in money. So that's how that's going to work. It's not going to bring in no money. So I'm pretty sure she's going to be like, nah, stop. No, but like I thought I knew about, social media. I thought I did, like going up in MySpace and then Facebook a little bit. But like you said, for me, it makes me feel like an old person. It does, like, because people are like, yeah, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, all this stuff. I'm like, I'm on YouTube and Twitter. You know what I mean? Like I'm on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram now, and I have a Facebook. But like, it's hard for me. It legitimately is hard for me to keep up with all of it. Yeah. Like and there might be an app that helps you post on all of these things. Like you go to a said website and click. That might be out there. I just don't know about it yet. But
there is. While you talking, I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Okay, because like it's been rough for me to utilize every bit of social network that I can. It's tough for me because I always forget one or I don't do it. Then you feel bad. You're like, oh, I missed the opportunity to really just, utilize it. And you're just like, well, forget about it. That's how it works for me. I get so discouraged with it.
There's an app called Buffer. It's for anyone who's curious. It's called Buffer. You can use that. It allows you to post to all social media platforms. You can schedule any, your tweets, video posts for Instagram. Literally, you can schedule everything out at certain times. It'll just go through. So anyone who's curious.
Buffer. Yeah. Like you spell out like regularly, Buffer, like it's okay. I'll have to check that one out. Because for me, it's just I miss it. I literally will post, like if I have a cover coming up or a premiere, I post in my Discord. I post in other Discords that allow me to, let me put it that way. And then I post on Twitter. That's it. And then I will upload a 1 minute long clip on Instagram. That's about it to promote everything. And I feel like that's a lot. Like, I feel like that's it. Like, I feel like I'm real proud of myself for that. But apparently there's a lot more. It's like, yikes, man. It's a lot to keep up with, but it's important. It's real important for you to do that because, you got to get your name out there. I've learned that recently. I posted a video of, it wasn't even like a real video. It was just me because I'll just go ahead and mention this. I don't want to plug myself, but so when I do covers, I do singles of certain songs, and then I'm also working on like background projects, like an album. Like for instance, I have a Final Fantasy VII remake album coming out. Working on a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 album right now. And so every once in a while, when I get a string section done or orchestra section done or guitars or whatever, I'll just record a video on my phone. Record a video of my DAW. It's just a song, whatever. It's not anything crazy. It's just audio from my phone video. And but recently when I've been doing that more, I've been getting followers. I'll post it and tag it and be like, okay, this is from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Spirit Crucible Elpis is the most recent one that I did. And like I've gotten a lot of views on it from the tags, and people are like, yo, this is awesome. And I've gotten follows from it. So I mean, just now recently utilizing that, I've just been figuring out, yo, this social media game is really important, even though I don't want to keep up with it. It's like real important, even though you don't want to, but you got to.
And it's like it's the marketing aspect of it. Like a lot of people, there are a lot of people that I know, like people who are trying to get into content creation that or have independent businesses, and a lot of people, like, and I'll speak from my experience, like people coming from Facebook. I keep telling people, get off of Facebook. I'm sorry, Facebook. If you're trying to promote content.
Well, Facebook, first of all, the thing about Facebook is, they don't, if you're promoting content that's not their own, they're not even going to push that. Like if you post a link to YouTube, there's something that automatically triggers that you're posting a link to YouTube, and they're not going to push it out. I have a good amount of friends on YouTube. I'm not YouTube. I have a good amount of friends on Facebook. that I went to high school with or met from here and there, met playing music, whatever, and they know that I'm doing this. They never ever see me post links for my covers. Hardly ever. They're like, oh, I didn't see that. I have to DM people. You know what I mean? So they'll see it. They never see it whenever I just post it. But best believe when I post this funny meme, or best believe when I post this funny video, it's going to get shared and they're going to see it. And that's the thing about Facebook is they don't care about anything else but their own platform. So you promoting anything from another platform, it ain't going to get shown.
Nope.
And that like, it's crazy. So then once again, which shame on YouTube, shame on Facebook, this made me mad. So I started double posting. Start posting covers from here, on YouTube, start posting to Facebook, double posting on both. And then my page got tagged for copyright infringement. And they didn't even give me the chance to even like review the strike. Page got taken down.
What?
And I had like 600 followers on that thing, which to me is a lot. You know what I mean? I had to start all over. That's 600 followers that I gained, that Facebook just took it down. Like, that's the thing about Facebook. I ain't messing with Facebook no more. Like, because they are really, really, really stingy when it comes to you posting stuff from unless it's TikTok, then they'll eat that up. I don't understand that. Or Instagram, because that's their own, but they'll eat that up as well. But forget that. You posting on YouTube? Nah, they ain't gonna share that. Nobody's gonna see it.
Oh, and that's why like a lot of people I know that are moving from Facebook to other platforms. Like I know many that especially here in Hawaii, like they just got on Twitter or they just got on Instagram, which I'm shocked if you're only now getting on Instagram. Weird. But, they just got on it and it's like, they're like, well, I'm making posts, but I'm not getting any traction. I'm like, well, here, how are you? Yeah. What are your tags? What are you doing? Because on Instagram, it keeps changing. 1 minute you put tags in it, your post. Next minute when they make a change, you put it in the comment right underneath your post. If it's Twitter, if it's more than 3 tags, they bury it because they think it's a spam account. If it's
right,
sometimes it's you don't put anything and they push it. It's like, I keep telling them, like, if it's your business, you also have to do something on social media that's in the name, and a lot of people don't get. Be social. You have to socialize, because if you're interacting with other people, it could be anything. But if you're interacting, that's engagement, which means they'll bring more people to seeing what you're doing. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm going to get on here. I'm just going to promote. I'm not going to interact. I'm like, what are you doing?
I mean, like you said, you got to be social. You got to be a person. You got to be approachable. That's the tough part about it. Like you have to be approachable. You got to post. And like you said, it doesn't have to be about whatever you're doing. It could be anything. But you just got to be approachable and respond to people's tweets and whatnot. Like, same thing on Instagram. Like, you got to be like, it may stink, but just go through recent tags and anything that's related to your channel. Look at it, comment, say hi, hit the like button. And if they see you and they're going to say, oh, that's an interesting name, they'll click on it and see that you're doing the same thing. They might hit you with a follow back. That happens. Like, that's the biggest one that I've learned recently is like, you got to be way approachable on social media. Because you won't grow. It just the idea of how am I phrase this? The idea that the platform is going to do the work for you, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
like that we're past that. Like whenever YouTube used to do the work for you, like I remember back in the day when YouTube was first getting started, how I found out about a lot of channels because they used to have a spotlight for smaller channels on YouTube. Here's smaller channels, go check them out. They don't do that anymore. Same thing with Twitter. Like Twitter, I used to find people like that all the time. They don't do that anymore. Like you have to be you have to be engageable. Like you have to engage and be approachable or you just won't grow. That's one major thing I've learned. Like you got to be a normal person. Like, a normal person and talk to people like they're normal people. You can't just one up them and be like, that's how you grow, which is vital. Very vital. Not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people can do that.
And the other thing too, like I doing content creation, I'm gonna say this, and I've met some of it's two sides of a coin,
right?
I've met some of the best people like that are now lifelong friends doing content creation, doing YouTube. I've also met some people that are just full of shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are, we can dive into that in a bit, but let's talk about the positive aspect of it. Like, you know, let's butter them up. Let's talk about the positive. Like, hey, I'm not charging $150 to say, hi, guys, let me give you a shout out. I see you in the chat. I see you. Anyway, that's a shot taken. But anyway, let's talk about the positive.
Shots fired.
So like for you, man, how has it been for you, you know, making friends? Like, are you finding the people you've made friends with on YouTube and content creation, like, are you finding yourself closer to those folks than like people in your
real life?
Yeah.
You know, like, because here's the thing about real life. Like, everybody says that, man, to be a social person, you got to go out and meet people. I mean, that's also true. I have good friends that I hang out with, you know, best friends growing up, musicians that I know, you know, people from, you know, church, stuff like that, you know, and you hang out with them, and you know, somebody having a barbecue, you go over there. But half the time, if you have a full-time job, you get off work, what's the first thing you want to do? You don't want to go nowhere. You want to go home and chill. You know what I mean? You don't want to go to so-and-so's house and spend the rest of your 4 hours of, you know, the rest of your day before you have to go back to sleep and do it all over again. You don't want to go to nobody's house and hang out because you're already tired. So you just want to be home all day. You want to be home playing games. You want to be home playing on the Switch, spend time with your family, you know, and then whatever you have left, you hop on social media and like hang out with your friends. Or in Discord and hang out with your friends. That's literally how it works for me. Like, I have found that the positive of this content creation is you can form really, really good, solid, look out for you, I got your back type friendships. And that sort of I got your back support too, you know, in the community. I'll just give an example, and I don't mean like there was in 2018. I remember this clearly.
Dude, don't censor yourself. You know who
no, I'm not gonna censor. No. But I'm just saying in 2018, me and my wife, we hit hard times, big time financially. I'm talking close to losing our house, close to losing cars, stuff like that. Just we took hit after hit after hit. After 2017 being one of the best years of our life. Like 2017 was a great year. 2018 was just the biggest wreck, and it carried over into 2019. But if it wasn't for the friendships from the content creators, if it wasn't for people saying, hey man, I know you're struggling, let me just slip something in your PayPal, help you out. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for even the supporters of the channel or supporters in the community saying, hey, we realize that you're going through it, here's something to help you out. You know, that year in 2018, everything happened around the holidays, so we didn't have any money. We couldn't even get our kids Christmas presents. Like, and I know that that's not a uncommon thing, you know, in the world. I understand, but for me, growing up, you know, having plenty because my parents worked really hard. You know what I mean? My parents worked their butts off for me, so I never wanted for anything. And so, for me to go through that was one of the hardest experiences of my entire life. But if it wasn't for the community and support, I don't think I would have made it. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think me and my wife would have made it through it. And that's a result of, that's the positive side of content creation. Like, seriously, you make some really good ass friends. Good ass friends, bro. Like, got your back. If you need something, let me know. I got you for real. Like, that's probably the best thing about doing this, for real. Like, honestly, the best thing about doing that is meeting those people. But then, like you said, then you get the bad side of it. Yeah. Then you get the bad side of it. Then you get the people that, you know, really just, you know, are there to maybe check you or just there to maybe, hey, I'm gonna come through your streams and say hi. But really what I'm trying to do is just get more followers for myself. And then whenever I surpass you, see you later. Like, you get that. You know, you get that any environment too. When I was a musician, you get that all the time. Somebody would say, hey, let's play a show together. Let's play a show together. And you get your bands together. And then as soon as they may have gotten bigger than you, they have forgotten that you helped them out in the beginning. You know what I mean? Same thing goes for this. You have that bad side of it. You have the clout chasing side of it. You have the drama side of it. You have, hey, I like said creator better than other creator. Let's go bash other creator. You know what I mean? And then you get that negative side of it. That's always there. But hopefully as you do it, the positive greatly outweighs the negative, and you're really solid. And that's one thing I've learned. You know, I have picked my friends in the community. I've picked my content creator friends, and that circle rarely changes or expands. Like I have who I have because I know they got my back.
Yeah. And you know, like even, you know, for me, like last couple of years, like I went full time, you know, September last year, and for the first month we were good. You know, I had money saved up, had everything ready. I was grinding, just trying to figure out, okay, I got all this time to do this. What am I doing? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And you know, even now I just had an alarm go off like, hey, you got to do this and this time, because this is something my wife helped me set up, because I had, you know, the idea of freedom to do what you want to do is there. And it's like, but what do you do with all this time? So, like I had a schedule. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then it just got to a point where I wasn't seeing a return on the investment. And it got to a point where like same time, dude, around Thanksgiving, you know, Christmas, New Year's, you know, we fell in some really hard financial times.
Yep.
And, you know, it got to a point, didn't help family drama. Our families kind of don't get along. I don't get along with her folks. I actually don't get along with a lot of others, but it's like, it just got to a point where it's like, it was too much financially. There was a struggle. And, you know, if not for my community coming through, like, hey, man, here's a donation. Here's a super chat. Here's this, here's that. And it's like, you're not even asking for it. But when you're upfront telling your community, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling up to date, or I'm not putting out the best quality content, then, you know, this is what's going on. And that's the beauty of these, of when you got a really solid community of people, when you made some really great friends, man, they come through. Yeah, and it's life-changing, bro. I mean, it seriously is life-changing. Like I don't mean to blow it out of proportion, but it's life-changing to know that you got that support. It's vital to that, you know, that you got that support, you know, because like you said, you're not asking for it. Somebody might be like, yo, you good? I can tell that you're not. Like, that happened to me one time. Like, I was doing a live stream and one of my buddies DM'd me on Twitter during, and then after while I was done, he was like, yo, are you okay? He was like, I could tell that you weren't yourself. What's going on? I told him everything. He was like, yo, we're not having that. And then like told everybody, and they got together, and like people was helping out. But you know, that's the beauty of it. That's the best thing about it, for real. Like the beauty of just having that support. It's life changing. Like I don't try to blow it out of proportion, but it is. And like the other great part of it too is like when a lot of these people, like, we've never met in real life, and we're closer to them than, you know, Joe Schmo down the street. Right.
My neighbor over here, this person down the street. Hey, there's two people that live down the street from me now that I went to high school with. We're friends with them in high school, and I barely see them. And we're neighbors. Yeah. We're neighbors. Literally, my next door neighbor graduated a year after me. One more down the street graduated a year before me. Like, and we hung out like in school. Do we hang out now? Nope. And you live next door to me. Like, and you live next door to me, but we don't hang out, you know what I mean? Because life changes. But you be hanging out with these friends online, and they want to say those aren't real friends. Really? They're not? Because I mean, homeboy out here, Nicholas in the chat, I hang out with Nicholas almost every day. We've been hanging out talking about Persona 5 because it's my first time going through it. He's helped me run through it. Ain't nobody helped me go through Persona 5 in real, like, nobody down the street. I'm not gonna call my neighbor and help me get through Persona. You know what I mean? That's not happening. But I can call Nicholas, I can call Avidan, you know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. But that's that's solid. That's solid. That's love. Like it's great. It's literally been life changing. It's one, I love it.
Yeah, and you know, you get to the point where it's like you like you said, you'll call them up. You can call them up. Either you get to the point where Desiree, I see you in the chat. I be doing streams and you get upset and you call me, literally calling me on my stream. I put you, anyway, I love you, Desiree. But you know, like you get to a point where you can just call people up, you know, be a Discord, Skype, whatever, you know, like you get to that point, you talk to these people more than you talk to your own family. Mm-hmm. And it's like, then that barrier of, you know, are you friends? I'm like, for me, like a lot of these folks, they're family. You know, like that's love. Yeah.
I told everybody, like everybody in my Discord that are Patreons or just there. I was like, look, I just want to thank y'all for being like, for real. You don't have to, like, that's a wonderful thing. They don't got to be there.
Yeah.
They don't have to be there. They don't have support. There are plenty of other places you can be in the world or on the internet, but you right here. Yeah. You know, and that's just crazy that you have that type of love. And like, that's the community that's the community that I try to, like, you know, put together. Is like, I want a community of people, like, where people can belong. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and not just belong, like, and I don't want to put off this phony thing like, yo, you can belong here, you know. So no, that's not it. I I want to fester that sort of community that is gonna get each other's back no matter what. Yeah. Like that just is what it is. Because, you know, once again, growing up, that's what I had. Like I said, my parents busted their butt, had my back no matter what, and so that's all so I love doing that, and that's the community that I want to be a part of. I don't want to be a part of this fake community. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in a group where I don't know if they're gonna be there for me or not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in a group of content creators where if I'm not pulling my weight, they drop you, or here comes the next hot creator, you're out. You know what I mean? Because I've seen that happen in this community. I'm not gonna drop names, but whenever coming up, you know, like I said, I started my channel and I watched that happen on podcasts, and these podcasts were fairly big. I've watched it. So and so, here's the next big one. You're out. This dude's better than you. You know, like, this dude's better than you. He pulls more numbers. You're gone. Like, that's literally what was said. And I could not believe it. I'm like, I thought, you know, we was friends. No, I don't want that kind of community. I want a real legitimate, we're friends, we're family, we're doing life together. I got your back. That's the community I want to be a part of. And that's what I look for. And that's what I have. I'll be real with you. Like, that's what I got with my community. I love it. Shout out to the community, dude, for real. Because, like, that's what I got.
Yeah. And you know, let's talk about it. Like, you know, you got a close-knit community, you know, you're part of Chillcast, and let's talk about it, man. Like, you guys have such a, yeah, for real, man. Chill Squad, like, y'all got such a close-knit group. And you look at, like, you know, you guys got that. Like, I got two different groups, apparently. Motherfuckers in my group, like, oh, we the pineapple people. I'm like,
pineapple people.
Fine, fucking pineapple people for life. And then we got the coconut cartel. It's like, literally, I actually
cartel. I like that. That's got a good ring to it.
I made some merch for it too. And it's like, we're so so close. For real, like, we're so close that, like, when stuff, I'm gonna speak on it, because I'm about to speak on. I ain't gonna drop names, because if you know, you know. You and I, we talked about this already too.
We know.
You know, and it's like, you get people who come in, like, up and coming content creators, people that come out of nowhere, they haven't been around but a couple months, but apparently they're everywhere. They pop up, and then they want to start. They want to pretend like they're cool with you, pretend they're friends with you, and then they come out and just start cutting you at the ankles. You know, like, in the whole situation with me, like, it's created a point where I had to shut down my Discord. You know, where I had a group come in, create a whole bunch of bullshit, and I feel guilty because I didn't screen the motherfucker. I let him in. It's like, you let him into your house. Like, I let him in. DM people in my group, pull people away, cost me patrons, cost me channel members, cost me subs on Twitch. Like, financially, I took a hit. screwed up my whole a lot of relationships I had with people in the gaming industry, you know, people in different industries, so that they can, you know, join our Flash group. Oh shit, that was a name drop. Fuck them. Anyway, you know, coming into my group, doing all right. You know, and it's like, not only did you do it to me, you did it to my wife, you did it to other content creators I know, and you're still doing it. And then when people figure out that you're on that BS, then you start blocking them. Like, I'm sorry. Look, a lot of us content creators, even if we don't talk all the time, we still talk. We'll tell somebody, hey, we'll slide up in the DM and be like, yo, you need to look out for this person. I did the same thing for you. I've done it for other people too. I'm like, look, I know we don't talk all the time. We do, we cool, but I don't want you getting caught up on this person that's on that BS. You know?
And once again, like, but that's love. That's the positive side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did the same thing. I mean, I covered my bases, made sure I was good. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that. And it's just, that part kills me about this. That's what really kills me. But you gotta be wary, man. But like I said, if you got that community, it's real quick to sniff them out.
Yeah.
Real quick to sniff them out. Like, I know for a fact in Chill Squad, like, we don't really quote unquote scream, but we're quick to sniff the BS. We're real quick to sniff it out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and like, we even have the community members involved in it too. Hey, what do you think? What do you think? Is this person on the up and up? What do you know about the said person? Like it's not, and you can call it gossiping if you want, but at the end of the day, like you said, you got to look out for your own and the community. Like, because once again, if it costs you money, like you said it did, now you got to work hard, even harder to get that back. You got to work just as hard or even harder to get that back. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, you just got to have it. Like, you got to have that solid community, dude. And that's why that's one thing I appreciate about Chill Squad. You know, everybody in Chill Squad is dope. Everybody. There's not anybody that I get upset about, unless we're playing Smash. Then we get upset at each other. But that's about it. Like, it gets real salty when we play Super Smash Brothers together. But that's about it. You know, some dudes will leave the Discord call. I can't do this today. I'm out. I've done it before. Everybody's done it before. But that's it. Nobody's really getting salty at each other unless we're playing Smash. But the community is great. And like I said, you gotta have that. Yeah.
You have to, and it's just, you know, like I said, shut up, Desiree. I see you in the chat. Shut up. I talk to you. Yeah, you go around the fence. I talk to you later. Anyway,
that's funny.
No, but
she put you on blast, homie.
Yo, she always on that.
She put you on blast.
You better not call me. I'm live, girl. You better not call me. But like, oh, you know, on some real stuff, like that situation that happened with me, like, yo, that hurt, because I'm like, yo,
it does.
I let you in. And it got to a point, I got people that were in my Discord. They're like, yo, I don't feel comfortable anymore. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't feel like I can trust this person. And it's because, one, I'm going to call you this person, not you, Nick. None of y'all in the chat. Maybe some folks lurking. I don't know. But certain flash groups, yeah, you know what? Some of y'all, like, for the person who came in my Discord and did that, I don't even, at one point I was trying to figure out why do that? Because that's ultimately not how you grow. That's going to create a whole bunch of enemies. And of course I'm going to hit people up and be like, yo, if you interact with this person, be careful. And I some of y'all in the chat, y'all know who I'm talking about, because I hit you up, and it's not to create drama, but I got receipts.
Got him.
I showed you one.
He got him.
And it's like,
he's got him.
I don't want nobody being screwed over like that. Because it's like, and the crazy part is it happens so much. And I'm gonna say this to the person that screwed me over. Look. Just so you know, and if you're watching, you're never going to work in the industry again. I got you blacklisted across the industry. So you can keep doing your little flash thing and all the other stuff,
Oh, snap.
But certain folks very high up across multiple mediums. I just shared with them screenshots of the bullshit you did. You're done. I want you to know you're done. You're never gonna make it.
D-U-N done.
You done. You know how they say, oh, he did it. Yeah, you done.
You're done. D-U-N.
Done.
I mean, it's I mean, I got nothing to add to that. I have nothing to add to that. Other than like, yeah, I mean, bro, that's the thing, man. I'll be real. That's another reason why I shifted.
Yeah.
I didn't want to deal with that. I'll be real with you. Like, I didn't want to have to deal with the pressures of that. And I also didn't want to come off like that, because there was a lot of times that I was trying to get on these shows and trying to be like, yo, let me on the show. At the end of the day, you come off as needy and you come off like that. I said, you know what? Forget all that. This is not worth it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I said, you know what? I'm good. I'm good on that. You know, and that was hard part of another shift. You know, just worrying about that. And then, oh man, like, and I'm sure in the future, when it comes to, if the channel grows and I start doing collabs with different people, I'm sure it's going to come up.
Stop saying that. Not if, when it comes up, but I'm sure it's going to come up. Yeah.
Actually, never mind. Be quiet. Actually, it already came up once, but we're going to be quiet about that. It came up once, but this wasn't to the extent that you were. This was, there was a smaller channel that I collabed with. And so we had been talking. We did one project. We were supposed to be working on another project. All of a sudden, they blew up. I got blacklisted. Like, they was like, "Yo, we ain't got time for you no more." Like, I don't mess with that. I will. You can mark my words. I will not be that person.
Yeah.
Like, because there's a quote that I'm going to shout out Avidan on his podcast. He interviewed a buddy of ours, Rob Regal. Rob Regal had the dopest quote, and I'll never forget this because he's right. He said, "Always be good on the way up. Always treat everybody on the way up the same. Always treat them nice. Be courteous. Never act like you better than nobody. Because guess what? Them same people going to be right there when you fall back down." That stuck with me. Like, that stuck with me. You know, because that's real. That's real. Like, if you have that fall, them same people gonna be there when you fall back down. It's all good when you're on top. It's all good when you're on top. When you start falling back down, them same people gonna be there when you come back down, and they're gonna remember how you treated them too, and they ain't gonna have your back. Ain't gonna have your back. So, like, that's me. Like, mark my words. I will always treat everybody with the utmost respect, unless you give me a reason not to.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, I'm trying to understand why. I've seen so much of this when I was in music. I know you can talk about this too. You've seen it too. It's in music. I've seen it all throughout YouTube. I'm seeing it on Twitch too, but more so on YouTube because I've been on it longer. And I just don't get this, man. I don't get it. And then you get to a point like, okay, I'll admit it. And for anyone who's interacted with me, there'll be times where, sometimes I just forget. I forget to hit people up and be like,
oh, it'd be like that. I do the same thing.
You know, like it gets like that.
You get busy. Like, sometimes I understand. That's why, bro, how many times me and you've been trying to do this?
Right.
But I'll be hitting like, yo, and like I even told you, like, look, I understand. It gets busy. It gets hectic. Yeah. I was like, so just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
And
I'm over here like,
you're like, yo, I got you. And then you set it up. But that's what it takes. Like, I get it. Sometimes you just be busy and you forget. Bro, I still have text messages. Let me see here on my phone that I didn't check. I have a total of 33 text messages on my phone unchecked. That's how, like, so I understand.
And it's like you get to that point where it's like, wait, I saw we got a super chat. Hey, yo, shout out to the Geek Getaway for the $5 super chat. So you got to build a family and cut the fake friends out.
Yes.
Facts. Thank you. It's like you get to a point, like I'm at this point, dude, when when people like certain flash groups, I'm gonna keep taking shots at them because that was personal. That was so personal, man. When I got people in the gaming industry and that I've become friends, people that, you know, even went to voice actors, you know, people that have my number, people that have stayed in my house saying that, you know, showing me that you done that was personal for me. And it's like, I got to this point where I'll admit I'm a little paranoid when people pop up out of nowhere like, oh, can you help me with this? Oh man, I'm a big fan of yours, or I like this, or I like that. I'm paranoid.
You have to be. I'm not you have to be paranoid, but you got to check these people. Like for real, like not like checking like, but you got to check on these people. Like you have to. You really do. I've had people reach out to me and say, hey man, you want to collab? And I'm like, let me look and see, because you'll find their true colors real quick if they stay around. You know what I mean? Like if you don't like, if you say something like, hey, I'm busy a little bit, whatever, and if they still continue to come around, all right, cool. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I understand you here. You do got to check them real quick, because you do got to be, because sometimes when people are there to, they're there to just get up on the what little fame you have, like, you know, 725 subscribers on YouTube, like, you know, it's just nuts. Shout out to Avidan though.
Yo, for real, Avidan with the $50 super chat, man. I appreciate it. Yo, he said this whole conversation hits home differently. Y'all both are dropping gems. Yeah, and it's one of those things, man. Like, look, man, I've met some of the dopest people doing this, but then for every one good person I meet, I got like 50 other ones. It's just like I had a dude hit me up, and I don't know if you've been on this. I don't know if you've like experienced this as well. But I had this dude, I ain't gonna name drop you. You probably know who you are. Popped up out of nowhere, has not talked to me in years. When I was a smaller channel supporting him, you know, on Twitch and YouTube, he had time for me. When I stopped doing that and I was smaller, didn't have time for me. Then, you know, didn't want to come on my podcast a couple years ago. The dude pops up in the last fucking week. Pops up. I've apparently exceeded him on YouTube and on Twitch. And now all of a sudden, he's liking everything. And here's red flags for me. You're liking everything I do. Sorry, I hit my mic. You're liking everything I do. You're hitting me up in the DMs. You're commenting on things like out of nowhere. And then you're over here like you DMing me like, oh man, like, oh, I like that you do this. I saw you had this person. When you're naming my big guests. Oh, I saw you had Chris Van Vliet on. I saw you had this person on. I saw you had this on. And then you're like, hold up. Okay, what did I straight ask to do? Okay, so like, what are you trying to hit me up for? What's up? And then he goes and admits, oh, I want to start a podcast and I want to interview people, but I want to know how do I do this? I'm like, what have you Googled? Oh, well, I Googled this, but I was hoping you could take time out and help me one-on-one. I'm like, nah.
I'm gonna be real with you, dude. That is one of the bigger things that does bother me. Like I don't want to sound like I'm fooling myself, but everybody asks the same question. Like, yo, how do I do this? I'm like, well, did you Google it?
Yeah.
No, can you help me out? But did you Google it? Because at the end of the day, you're going to continue to do something that you put effort into yourself. If somebody does something for you, you're more than likely not to do anything with it, and it's just going to be worth it. I'm not going to waste my time helping you out if you're just going to drop it. You know what I mean? Like that's what it comes down to. That's one of the biggest things that does get on my nerves. People be like, yo, can you do this for me? Nah, you can Google it. And if I see that you really, really trying, then I will give you some advice. But you got to do it. Like that's the thing. Like, because if you're not invested, then why am I going to be invested?
Yeah.
Like, why am I wasting my time? You know, that's the thing that killed me about that.
It's just, And then the dude was like asking me, he's like, well, I don't have the connections or contacts. I'm like, so what you trying to do? He's like, well, if you could reach out to Techni Sport, or you could reach out to this person, do that. I'm like, why can't you do this? I'm like, you were quote unquote a bigger channel and you had all this. What happened? He's like, oh, well, I don't know. Well, I took time away and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'll say this. I've said this to many people. I ain't nobody special. All I do is reach out. I look at reaching out to people the same way I did back when I was single and trying to hit up girls. Like, hey, either she will go on a date with me or she won't. Either she'll give me the time of day and hear what I'm trying to spit, or she won't. It's one of those two. And I'm not afraid of the rejection because, if say I reach out to people, they'll say no. John Bentley, I shout out. He's a good dude. That's a good brother right there. Like I tried reaching out to him on Twitter. Boom. Couldn't get anything. Tried reaching out through email. Through email? Nothing. But then when he found out I was cool, good people through David Hayter, then he called me up. Hey, Kel, how you doing, man? I see you, Kel. He's like, yeah, I come on your show, man. It's cool. It's somehow, some way, I just reach out and it happens. Right. But like you got people, I hate saying it, man. Like there's some parasites. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, it just is what it is. That's what it is. Like you got people that want to just get on whatever small sort of success you have or big success, just depending on who you are. You got it everywhere. You got it. I mean, I get it in a much smaller fashion, but you get it everywhere. Some people want to hit you up. Hey man, let's collab. Let's do this. Can you help me out? Some people have asked me to like mix whole songs for them before. Mm-hmm. Nah, you like, unless you want to slide some money my way, because that takes some time. It's not happening. Like, I'm not just going to do this out of like, that's just not how it's going to work. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work that you're not doing for yourself for free.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Why? It makes you sound like a jerk, but why do you get to climb on my back and eat, get to eat what I'm eating and like get on the success that you have when you ain't putting nothing forth? Mm-hmm. It's not how it works. You got to work for it. You got to want it. You got to grind for it. You got to do it. Trying to go. And once again, like I said to begin, when I talk about why I shifted, at the end of the day, if I do help you, like that's not going to be sustainable because it wasn't genuine. Like you didn't do it. It wasn't authentic. You didn't do it. It was the help. That's why, like I said, when you have somebody shout you out, whatever, your channel will grow for a little bit, but it's sustainable. This has got to be authentic. You cannot just be in people's discords everywhere else linking up, hoping somebody's going to shout you out or a bigger YouTuber's going to shout you out. You got to do it yourself. Rob Riggle always said this the best. Don't be mad because the next YouTuber or a YouTuber bigger than you is doing better. People like, it's not the fact that YouTube likes them better than you. You're just not interesting. He said that one time. That hit me hard. That came from my friend too. You know what I mean? But he said, you can look at it that way, or you can look at it as you're not interesting people. You're just not interesting. You're not entertaining. You just sit with a mic. Like you're not entertaining. You're not interesting. People ain't going to hit that subscribe button for that. You just gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta work hard. You gotta put in your work. You gotta put in the work. It's just not gonna be no cloud chasing in here. Cloud chasing only gets you so far. Yeah.
And to add to that too, like even if you're streaming, let's take it to the topic of streamers. Even if you're streaming, even if you got 1 viewer, 2 viewers, 3 viewers, 10 viewers, 20 something viewers, that's people. And I keep trying to stress this to so many folks. That's people doing something that they can never get back, and that's giving their time. Watch you. Like I don't care how many people it is. If you got one person watching you, that is so critical.
Time is valuable. Yeah, time is valuable. Time is way valuable, and that's what I'm saying. When you got people that would rather spend their time with you, you need to really appreciate that, and don't be like, "Oh man, I only had so many viewers today. Like I didn't have as many viewers as I had yesterday in my stream. Like my viewers are going down, bruh." That's still people spending their time with you. Like you said, they don't get that back. You get older, you don't get younger, you don't go backward, you always go forward. So if somebody's choosing to spend an hour, 10 minutes with you, they ain't gonna get that 10 minutes back. That's why you got to be entertaining. That's why you owe it to them. As a matter of fact, I'll bring up a sports metaphor because I was watching Michael Jordan's Last Dance documentary. And Michael Jordan was talking about when he came back from retirement, he was upset because he wasn't all the way there yet. He wasn't ready. He couldn't put his all in. And his quote to his trainer was, I have an obligation. If somebody's going to spend their hard-earned money or waste 3 hours on TV watching me, they deserve my 100% no matter what. And he said it killed him, not because he lost, but because he couldn't give his 100%. He couldn't give all that he had in those playoffs that year that they got ejected because he wasn't there all the way. And he busted his butt that offseason to make sure he was 100% to give anybody who's bought a ticket, watched TV. He owed it to those people to give 100%. And you got to take that same mindset into everything you do in content creation. Streaming 100%, no matter who's watching. Video 100%, no matter how many people click on that thing. Got to be your 100%. It can't be half-assed. Like you got to do, everything's got to be 100%. That's something that I knew, but I didn't know until I watched the documentary. You know what I mean? Like, but then like when you hear it in that fashion of somebody who's that great at what they do, and they say it in that fashion when they don't even have to because you're the greatest basketball player at the time. But they said, I owe everybody my 100% because they spending their hard-earned money and time.
Yeah.
That hit hard. And that's been motivating me recently too, that you owe anybody who spends their time 100% because they're watching you. They're watching you. That's part of you as an entertainer and a person who, like, if you want to be a content creator and you really are pursuing this, you owe them 100%.
Yeah.
All of them, every time.
Yeah.
I hate to go on that rant, but that brought that up.
No, man, we look, that's a gem that need to be dropped for people to pick up because it's true. You got to, I've had this talk with so many people like, I'll stream when I feel like it. Oh, I put a video out. No, if you got people, dude, it is such, not trying to take a shot. Let me chuck a grenade. Look, it's one of those situations where when you are a creator and you got people spending money on you, especially when people are investing money into you, not just their time, but money. And you decide you don't want to stream because you don't feel like it, or you don't want to make videos because you don't feel like it, but you're still going to take money from people that they have worked hard to get. I'm sorry. You need to stop being lazy. Either give the money back or you produce the content, because you cannot. And I think it's morally wrong when you have creators that are just that lazy, but they want to take money. No, you can't take the bag. Just like, get the bag, but don't get the bag at the expense of screwing people over. Yeah, that's facts. Or go get your own bag. Yeah, that's exactly. That too. As we were talking about snakes in the grass, go get your own. Go get your own bag. Yeah, and quit trying to take mine. Go get your own. Yeah, go get your own bag. Like, that's one thing. I don't know, but I think I about hit everything I need to hit. On that. The only thing we didn't talk about is music, man. Like how you got into it. That's all I got left. Oh shoot, we can run through that real quick. No, let's just go ahead and get to the music. We spent a lot of auto lines, but it's funny because my channel is predominantly music, but we didn't even touch hardly on music. We touched on the culture of content. It's vital though. That's vital. It's vital. It really is vital. But music, I grew up listening to music. My mom was a musician. My mom played piano. Her grandfather before that was a jazz musician in a relatively popular jazz group. And then he passed away, sadly. Really horrific. Well, not really horrific, but it was horrific. They was drinking in a garage with a car on. All of them got carbon dioxide poisoning. So they passed away, and my mom was really young. But my mom loved playing piano because her dad played piano. And so
my mom growing up playing piano. I watched my mom play piano. I said, hey, mom, how can I play piano? She tried to teach me, but I was really hard headed. So I ended up teaching myself. And she was like, how did you teach yourself? I said, I don't know. I just taught myself. And that sort of carried throughout. I went from teaching myself a little bit of piano to playing drums. I'm predominantly a drummer. Drums are probably my best, not probably, drums are my best instrument. So when it comes to playing music, drums is where it's at. Even though I don't have drums in the house because I have to sort of program them for these songs, but drums is literally the best instrument that I'm better at. Drums growing up in high school, marching band, choir, the high school thing, going to state, trying to go to districts, contests after this and that. Did that for a little bit. I wanted to go to college to be a music composer. My dad said, nah, you can't do that. You're going to do something more practical. So I tried to go to school to be a computer-aided drafter, and that didn't work out. I dropped out a semester later immediately. Like, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I dropped out, started playing music in like music scenes. I was in a band called A Night Well Spent. We toured for like a month, and then we didn't get to go on tour again. Played a few shows locally, broke up. Various other bands, same thing. Eventually got married, and then that was it. So my music goes a long, long way. As far as experience, like just trying to tour and being part of the culture. And like I mentioned, and to be honest, that background there helps out a lot with the content creation background. It helps out a lot. It does prepare you because, when you're there and the same similar stuff happens when you're playing music happens here, you just brush that off. You know what I mean? I'm used to it and done with it. So it was really vital for this, because if I didn't have that, man, I'd be so mad right now. I'd be so mad and so angry about, the content creation game, but I'm not, because, there's a passion for it. But yeah, music background, man, like I played like, jazz in high school. I didn't get into the rock because like my covers are predominantly like heavier metal rock covers. I didn't start listening to like heavier music until high school. And that's where that influence came through. And that's what carried me throughout. So, I played, when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 was heavier music.
So that's when you look like Childish Gambino?
Yeah. That picture of me that looks like Childish Gambino, that's me in Nashville, Tennessee, as a matter of fact. I was there. I wasn't playing music at the time there. We were just hanging out, but we were watching music. So there you go. But yeah, that was me in Nashville, Tennessee, looking like Childish Gambino on my, I think it was a BlackBerry at the time.
Yeah, that was status symbol back in the day.
BlackBerry at the time. Yeah, if you had a BlackBerry or Blackjack, you was it. That was it back in the day. So yeah, I was on my BlackBerry at the time, and yeah. But yeah, just the music aspect was just the heavy music came from playing. I love bands like Under Oath growing up. Under Oath, We Came as Romans, Devil Wears Prada, Attack. I don't know if you know any of these bands, but Chiodos, stuff like that. Just in high school, being a young dude, drove my mom and dad nuts. I can tell you that right now. My mom and dad, like I said, my mom was a jazz musician. My dad listened to like stuff like Gap Band, Earth, Wind and Fire. So you ask me, how do I go from listening to Earth, Wind and Fire, Gap Band to heavy music? I don't know. It just happened. It just happened. So, but that's the background, man. And yeah, I tried to transfer that into video game format. And I think I do pretty well. There's still some times where I'm like, this doesn't sound as good, or I'm not as good as the next person, because there's plenty of other cover channels on YouTube, but you got to put the U in YouTube, as you just said. So can't have the mindset of I'm not as good as this next guy. Really, you just got to put out the best content you can. If people don't like it, suck it up. They didn't like it.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Like, I really, we got people watching, and I want to, anyone who's a content creator, I want to say this to you all, because I want you to internalize this. Your value is not in the metric of your likes, your follows, your sub count. Your worth as a human being is that you exist and that you do really good being you. Go the rule, be good to other, doing others as you have done unto yourself. If you're good and you're not about that bullshit, look, everyone who knows me know that's my favorite saying. Don't be about that bullshit.
Don't.
Which is true. Your value is not in that. If you have, I don't know, like if you got, case in point, you got 5 subs, 10 subs, 11 subs on YouTube, or 1 viewer, 2 viewers on Twitch, that doesn't matter. The matters is you're putting in the work. You got to do the work.
Yeah.
You got to do the work. And you got to do the work and learn to enjoy, because it helps you appreciate when you get to that point where you can have more people there. You got to enjoy that process. And if, say, case in point, if you're trying to reach out to people, you got a podcast, you want to have guests on your show, or you want to, work with different companies, or you want to get review codes. I'm going to tell y'all this. I hope y'all hearing me when I say this. If you approach anybody with the mentality, I'm just small, I'm a nobody, why would anybody want to fuck with you?
Yeah.
Just, you got to have confidence. I don't care. I was saying for 2 months before it became reality, I was saying a lot of shit back then. But anyway, I was saying for 2 months when I started my podcast, that number 1 podcast in Hawaii, to make myself feel better. And then it got to a point 2 months after that, it was reality, because people were tuning in because they saw us putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to believe in you and keep it moving.
Yep.
And take that chance.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big one. That really is big. Like, you just take the chance, believe in you, keep putting in the work, keep putting in the work.
Yeah.
That's the big one. If you have a failure, don't complain about it. I'll say that for real. Don't complain about it publicly. I'll put it that way. If you got friends, complain about it to your friends all you want. All you want. If you got close friends and you upset, complain to them. Don't complain about it publicly. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. It was gonna be in that same spirit of you gotta put it in the work and make sure. But I already forgot. Oops.
Oh well. Yeah, but it's literally like you just have to. And I encourage everyone who's here, everyone that's a content creator, please, if you're on YouTube, put the you back in YouTube. If you're on Twitch, do what you want to do. Don't chase trends. If it's in your realm, if you're doing gaming news and you're covering it, fine. But if your passion is not at all being a trending, you want to do something you want to do, then do it. Come hell or high water, do it.
Following trends is a money pit too, by the way.
Yeah.
Following trends is a big money pit. If you're a streamer, you out here playing a game that you just playing because it's popular and you don't like it, that's $60 that you done spent for nothing. I will say that. Following trends is a big money pit. You will find yourself in bad shape. Financially. We didn't even talk about financially. Also mentally, you'll find yourself in a bad shape.
Yeah.
She said, just do it.
Yeah, if you're trying to buy all the games coming out, who got all that time? I'm sorry. Like,
nobody.
Dude, let's talk about like Nintendo of all people. Companies. Was it last year where you couldn't breathe without Nintendo dropping something?
Yeah, it was last summer from June to October. It was pretty rough. Three months. I remember that. Mario Maker. July was rough. July was Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Some other game, Fire Emblem. Another game I can't remember because it was just so much. August was like Damon X Machina. Another game. Astral Chain. September was another game. Link's Awakening. Another game all the way to Luigi's Mansion. It didn't stop.
No.
Oh, and then Dragon Quest 11 was 2 weeks after that.
Yo, my wallet was like, "Are you serious, my guy? You serious?" And then my bank's over here, like, you know that meme where the dude's like, right. I went to the ATM. He looked at me like,
I'm be real with you. I had to practice mad control during that summer. I had to pick my spots and follow through with that because Man, I wanted to get Mario Maker. I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna play Mario Maker enough. Forget that. I was getting Marvel Ultimate Alliance because everybody in the community had it, but I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm probably not gonna play that. So I made sure that I got Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion. Those are the 4 games I was like, these are the must-haves. Everything else can go to the wayside because that summer was rough. RUFF, rough. It was bad. It was bad. It was great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining because it was a good summer for gaming, but my wallet was like, yo, you only got so much.
Can you imagine if
you bought all those games?
I was like, this year, if we didn't have all these delays, this year is gonna be stacked if we didn't have all those delays.
Yeah, but this year wasn't gonna be like stacked like that. It was gonna be stacked sparingly. Like you at least got time to breathe. You was gonna get Xenoblade Chronicles and Last of Us 2. All right, breathing room. Then you was gonna get Ghost of Tsushima. Now Paper Mario. All right, breathing room. Yeah. Then you was gonna get September, which was going to be killer with everything that was coming out in September, Cyberpunk, everything else. Breather.
Yeah.
So at least it was gonna be like that. But summer last year, Nintendo was like, yo, remember when y'all was, I almost said B word. Remember when y'all was complaining about them games a year ago?
Go ahead. He's about to say when y'all was bitching. I'll say it.
Remember when y'all was complaining about them games a year ago? Remember when y'all said, oh, you got to smash? Well, guess what? We're going to kick it off with Yoshi's Crafted World and making sure y'all know, and then y'all can joke, but then guess what? Everything, bro. And not to mention the third-party games that they had come out too. Collection of Mana. Square Enix dropped them bombs. Hey, by the way, here's our support. Every Final Fantasy game, we're gonna throw that your way. Man, it was a good year last year though. I'm not gonna lie. It was a great year. I mean, not for the wallets, but it was a great year for Nintendo and for gaming. It was I enjoyed every minute of it. And then we got the announcement of Breath of the Wild 2.
Yep.
Like 2019 was a great year.
And Xenoblade Definitive Edition.
Like, then Pokemon came out.
Oh, man.
Pokemon came out. Like, the last Smash DLC character came out. It was nuts. 2019 was a great year. A great year in gaming.
So how you feeling about this generation about to come up?
Whoo! Okay.
My wallet's not ready.
Here's the deal. We talked about this on Chillcast, and I'll just make this quick and sweet. Yeah. I don't feel like this is going to be anything worth it right now.
I can agree.
Gotta wait. Because you're hearing, I mean, we got to see that tech demo from Epic for the PlayStation 5, and it looked gorgeous and it looked amazing. It looked real good. But man, like the way things are going, it just doesn't seem like it doesn't feel like it's worth it. Like I'll say that one more time, because it seems like it's not going to be that big of a graphical leap. And also we're to a point to where graphical leaps that we're going to see from the PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 no longer exist. And that's kind of the problem. Everybody's expecting these huge graphical leaps. We're not going to leap in, I don't think, graphics. We're going to have, everything's going to be in frames and pixels. That's it. So you're not going to have a huge graphical leap. You're going to be jumping from 4K to 8K, 30 to 60, or whatever you want, wherever frames you want. I'm gonna be real with that. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't feel like it's worth it at this point. It's not. If the same games are going to come out for my Xbox One X and my PlayStation 4, and they're going to run, like the only time I have to upgrade is when they force me to upgrade, when they're like, yo, these games are only coming out for next gen. Like that's the point when I have to. But like right now, it's hard telling. Like PlayStation sort of is looking good, but we don't know enough information about these next gen consoles to know. Meanwhile, I predominantly play this thing more so than anything else, so it really don't matter. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I'll play my Xbox when I got to, but really, this thing right here is what I'm predominantly playing on. All my JRPGs on here don't really matter. Plus, I can take this with me. I ain't got Steam behind this monitor all damn day. So, you know, that's what really does matter. Like, and I just don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's going to be that big of a leap for me to spend $500. At least immediately. The moment I swap is whenever they say, hey, this is the cutoff where like Xbox doing that smart delivery. This is the cutoff. Everything else is next gen. That's when I move. That's probably when I move. I ain't going off the rip. Heck no, I ain't going off the rip.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like other generations, they did stuff to get us hype. This one, I just feel like they ain't doing nothing.
Well, I mean, also with COVID happening, kind of put a brick on it, so we gotta understand that. But you're right though. Like, we don't know anything about PlayStation's next games. We know about their current lineup, but we don't know anything. We saw that one small little thing at the Game Awards called, what was it, God something? I can't remember what it was called. We saw that. That was it. Microsoft swears they got something down the road in July. We'll wait and see. You know what I mean? Like, we'll wait and see. It's just, I don't think there's not much. It's not a huge leap for me to just jump at it.
Yeah.
I'm going to play my cards right. I'm saving my money. And then whenever that price drops or whenever they got me a good bundle, I'll probably hop at it. But I don't think it's going to be a day one. The only thing I might buy day one would be the Xbox Series X. But that's a big might. Because I'm already in that ecosystem. I play a ton of games on the Xbox. I play Madden a lot. I play the Warzone. I play Apex sparingly with Avidan. So that's really the base of it. PlayStation, I only open my PlayStation whenever I want to play like Persona or Dragon Quest 11 or Final Fantasy 7 Remake or Spider-Man or something like that. So for me, it's probably going to be Xbox because I'm already there. Yeah, Alex Prime said best. I'll probably wait a couple. Yeah, same. I'll wait a couple of years because it's not looking great. Yeah. I mean, it's looking great, but it's not looking great. If that makes sense.
All right, we got some community. We got wind down to the last section where we got the Q&A. We got the audience. There. Boom.
Snap.
Pop it up right there. Avidan's question: Chrono Trigger collection for the Switch. How hype would that be for the summer?
Oh, he's saying like, the collection, like you talking Trigger and Cross?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only really collection you can get, right? Call it the Chrono Collection. It'd just be Cross and Trigger. How hype would I be for that? I mean, I'd buy it. I'd buy it. Like, I don't know if I'd be hyped, but yeah, my wallet would. I'd severely have to purchase it because it's Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
and Cross, and to be able to play that on the go on the Switch would be awesome.
Yeah,
but I don't know if I'd be super hyped, but definitely would buy it.
Okay, we got a question from the Geek Getaway. Ain't this cool? You can just click it and then boom, it's right there.
Right.
So the Geek Getaway, Tony has a question. What about the Amico console?
I don't even know what that is. What is that? I gotta hit Google right now. See this? We talking about Google? Hit it. Oh man, like I don't know about that, bro. I heard about this. I mean, nah. Nah. That's all I'll say about that. Nah.
Rogue Dragon says, but what about Stadia?
Stadia? I mean, we're not gonna be worrying about Stadia whenever Xbox comes out with Project X Cloud in 3 years and it's way better.
Hey, have you tried it yet?
Have not tried it, but I've heard good things about it. I've heard good things about it.
Stadia.
I've heard good things about it. And the fact that it's only in the mobile form only. I know that there is some like if you sign up for the beta, you can get it on console. I tried to sign up, they never gave me the opportunity. But I've heard nothing but good things about Project X Cloud. And the fact that I feel like here's where Microsoft's going to get us, right? Everybody's talking about Microsoft, man. You know, I'm not going to buy their console because they're not going to have the games. Guess what? They don't care about that. They really just want you. They're really just serving up X Cloud and Game Pass to you on a platter and wait for you to grab a hold of that. And they're letting Google Stadia take all the fall for it at the beginning. Really, what Xbox is doing right now is what PlayStation did to Xbox this generation. That's what they're doing to Google Stadia right now. They're letting Google Stadia take all the L's, take all the shots, and then they're going to come through with their own, and it's going to be phenomenal. And they're going to blow it out of water. That's what Xbox is doing to Google right now. They're doing what PlayStation did to them, hands down, like easily. They're just sitting there waiting.
Okay, so Jeff's question. My name is Jeff from Twitch. He's like, what collector's edition did you drop the most on?
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not a big collector's edition person. So I've never really like dropped a lot of money on collector's editions.
Okay.
In a recently, like the only one I would have dropped money on, and the one I'm thinking about, Ghost of Tsushima right now. I'm highly thinking about it.
Is it available?
Yeah, like the homie Nicholas posted a link. They're still available on GameStop right now if you go check.
Ooh.
So if you want to cop, now's the time to cop. Ghost of Tsushima, and the one that I really, really would have done it on, but I didn't have the money at the time, was Final Fantasy VII Remake. That would have been the one.
With the yeah. I wanted the one with the bike, but I didn't have the money at the time to get that.
Bro, I barely have money. I barely have enough money to buy the base game. You alone all these collector's editions. But Ghost of Tsushima, definitely. I definitely want that. That mask looks fire. And that game looks fire too. That game not look phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, is that all the questions? Y'all can throw questions in. We in the Q&A. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
But, says, bro, can you teach me how to do that? Yeah. It's pretty nifty.
Telling you. This platform, I go ahead and I'll speak on it. So I use the way I do my podcast, the way I do it is I use StreamYard. You know, I had them on the show. I interviewed them. I'm partnered with them right now. Shout out to them for making this platform so great. I can do my podcast on it, do my overlays. It's super easy. I can click on, like, I see Road Dragon. I see it right here. I can just click on your comment. Boom. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch,
that's a great question.
Click on it, and everything is right here. It's all right.
Avidan is worth. I will tell you right now, Avidan, it's worth looking into. He showed me this at the beginning, and this is up your alley for BWB. I'll say that.
Yeah,
or BFB. I said BW. BFB.
No, it's super worth it. Like, it's everything I need is right here. You know, I shout out to them for reaching out to me months ago to use their platform, and they were trying to get people to use it. Chris Van Vliet, real good friend of mine. I put him on Game to This. He's been using it for his stuff when he can stream. He can't really stream anymore because he gets the same problem I get, where when I stream, I get demonetized on YouTube. This podcast, 10 seconds in, demonetized. So shout out to people who did the donations, because that helps. That helps keep it going, because it's YouTube. You got everything you need to be. You are the chosen one, YouTube. But you keep doing this dumb shit. I don't know what's going on.
You were the chosen one. It was said you're supposed to broadcast people, not crush them.
Just, you know, it's like YouTube just. I don't know what's going on with them, man.
Nobody knows what's going on, dog. That's the thing. Like, nobody knows what's going on YouTube.
It's crazy.
You see Rogue Dragon's question? That's hilarious.
Which one?
Boxers, briefs, or commando?
Oh, it kind of depends, man. It just depends. It depends. If your lady looking good and you walking around like, yeah, you go commando, because you know that's a quick load action right there. I mean, but when you walking around, you going into look. It's a double-edged sword, though, man. Because if you go into the store, like I got a store right down the street from me, and if I go there, I can be with my wife and she looking good, but then I see some dime piece walk by and she looking fine, and I can't be saluting all the time. I can only salute.
Oh my god! I'll be real with you. It's boxer briefs 24/7 hours, 7 days a week. Boxer briefs, not boxers or briefs. Boxer briefs. All right. I like the feeling of having boxers on, but I also like to keep my stuff in place. This is what it is. Boxers be too freeing, dude. I'm gonna be for real. Like I know boxers just be too freeing sometimes. Like you got things got to be in order down there.
Yeah. Yeah, and trust me, I'm in Hawaii. If look, no discrimination, but if they're like, look, I know the illusion that they sell is Hawaii is a land of nothing but beautiful women all the time. And look, Denomi who's out here as a friend of mine, she's out here in Hawaii. She can attest to it. More often than not, you got 99% of the folks here looking like sea lions. And then you got that 1% that's looking like they came out of, Maxim magazine. Look, when I see when I see that 1% come by and I'm with my wife, sometimes I salute. I respect the hustle because it's hard when you're dealing with nothing but sea lions and walruses. So I'm just
sea lions and walruses. That is great.
Man, look, man, I've said this story before. I took one for the team. I had a chick that weighs 2 times. I'm 230 pounds. I've been with a chick that's twice my weight. Look, that's why I go to the gym. And that's coming out here. Yeah, I know. This went a whole different direction.
This went left immediately. Next question. Gave me my stroke.
We got question is Titan, Hunter, or Warlock?
Okay. Me personally, I was a Titan.
Okay.
I love being a Titan in Destiny. But I will admit, Titan had some whack abilities.
Yeah.
Titan had some whack abilities when it came to the Titan. Like, the Titan didn't really... They just really didn't do the Titan justice. Like, Titan was supposed to be a tank, and you didn't really build the Titan like a tank like you were supposed to. Like, the Hunter got all the cool abilities, and then the Warlock got all the OP abilities. The Titan just didn't get nothing. But I was a Titan through and through. I love being a Titan in Destiny. It was like one of the best things ever. Put out that bubble shield in the raid, saving everybody. That's what it was. That's how vital you were to the group. You had to have a Titan.
Yeah.
But guess what? You couldn't have all Hunters. Y'all got worked. Yeah. Just remember that. Just remember that. To you Hunters out there that want to flash, oh yeah, look at me, I got my wind blade. Oh, look at me, I got my golden gun. Look at that. But guess what? You wasn't going through that raid without a Titan. Just letting you know right now. You was not making through that raid unless you had a Titan. Me. Yes, sir.
Oh man. So Jeff's question. Actually, Avidan's like, I told him this months ago. I did.
I can see that. I can see it. I can see it.
Jeff's question is, what do you think of the new Scooby-Doo movie?
Okay, I watched it. I watched it with my kids. That was half my experience. They were really loud, and they annoyed me. So I didn't get a chance to really focus in on it. What I watched didn't grab me though. I will say that. Though I've heard great things about it, but what I watched just didn't grab me. I walked out of my living room and said, you know what, let me go work on music because this is not really what I'm about. Now, maybe if I went back and watched it without the distractions of 3 kids yelling throughout my living room while I'm trying to watch this thing, then maybe my experience would be much better. But right now, that's really hard to do because children are nothing. They're just in my house all the time because we can't go anywhere. So it's really hard to focus on a lot of stuff. But so I didn't get to watch it. My wife said she only watched 2 minutes of it. Wrong. It was 10. And I bounced. I was like, I'm not into this.
Oh man. So I haven't seen it. I've heard that the original voice of Daphne was not happy about it because they replaced everyone. Here's the thing: when it comes to voice acting, like it's done. I know, and it's sometimes you get the gig, sometimes you don't. It's not like Japan where we got grandma.
Want to move forward?
Yeah, you know,
you can't be Daphne forever.
Sometimes they gotta spice it up. I was about to say something, then I realized I'm on my show and I can't. Oh shit, no, I can't say. Anyway, never mind. Move on. Next question. Next question is from Spirit Shock. Have you had anyone attempt to copy your style on YouTube or any other platform, and how did you deal with it? It's a great question. It's a great question. There's a lot of that on YouTube.
I have not had anybody try to copy my style yet. Not like I've had certain fellow content creators say, hey, I like what you did. I'm going to sort of take that and use it a little bit. I've had that, but I haven't had like somebody just blatantly copy my stuff, rip it off, and then throw it up. everything that's been like, hey, I like what you did. You mind if I take that? Sure, go ahead. You can use that. That's cool. But it's never been like someone just blatantly taking something from me.
I mean, I've had that happen a whole bunch of times. Where people just straight up, top to bottom. I'm over here like, can I get some royalty fee? Like, look, motherfucker, I got royalties. Look, pay me. Look, I'm flattered, but pay me. You just copy my style. I've had that happen over the years. Like, and it just gets to a point where it's like, when it happens, people see it. People know.
Right.
They'll know. And when it gets to that point, you're kind of like, look, it's the internet. You can put anything on the internet. You can't control it, but it happens. And it happens a lot. I mean, hell, it's been happening in music for how long?
Bro. Music is bad about it. People be ripping on people's styles all the time in music. Like, that's just something you get used to. I mean, but music is what it is. Like, Elvis was ripping off the Coasters and African American rock and rollers for a long time. Got popular because of it. You move that forward, especially in hip hop. Come on, bro. Hip hop, you got dudes copying each other 24/7 in hip hop. Just is what it is. People just like the style. They'll take it. They'll make it their own. If they do it better than you, oops. You know what I mean? Like, they did it better than you. It just is what it is. Somebody could be copying one of my covers and make an arrangement, and they might do that one thing that everybody likes better. Oh well, just it is what it is.
Yeah. The Geek Getaway and Paul Clinton are talking about my battles with the wild sea lion out here in Hawaii.
No.
So Geek Getaway is like every dude hunted a buffalo in their youth. This is true. Paul Clinton's like, wouldn't being in bed with 400 pounds be enough of a workout? You would become jacked. Okay, let me tell you.
You would think so, but no.
Look, real story, real talk. From personal experience. I was a young child once, a young man in his 20s. There was a time when testosterone and hormones were all that and that purple drink, and things happen. And look, I thought I gave this girl the best time of her life, and then I found out that was just a flap of skin. It wasn't what I thought it was.
Oh my god. Nah, man. Nah, bro. Bro.
Oh, okay. Last question.
Oh my god.
I was young, okay? I was young. I didn't know any better. It felt the same. I'm sorry. Okay? Everybody's got a first for something.
Oh. Like some things you can't unsee, bro.
Yeah, so I hunted a buffalo back then, okay? I lift weights. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, no, it's not bullshit, Desiree. It's not bullshit. Anyway, last question. We're out. Last question. You okay there, Nick?
Bro, I can't. Just ask the question. Just ask it.
Oh, last question is from One Eye Seeing in 3D. How did you handle unwarranted advice? Well, first off, don't hunt buffaloes or sea lions.
How do you handle unwarranted advice?
Yeah, I'm sweating over here.
Me too. Come on, man. Like, my division. I just have this image in my brain, bro. I'm trying to answer this question, but I can't.
I was drunk.
In my brain.
I was drunk then too.
Oh, how do you handle unwarranted advice? I mean, just listen. Like, just listen. You know what I mean? And then go on about your day. If it's, I mean, because just listen. I mean, that's the best thing. I that's how I handle unwarranted advice. I'll just listen. You know, I'll listen to the person. I will genuinely listen to the advice. And if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, well, guess what? I ain't doing it. But you just genuinely just listen to the person. That's really it. Because then at the end of the day, you at least listen to their advice, and they're not gonna put you off as a jerk. That's the last thing you want for your image, for real. I'll be real. Like, yeah, it does stink because you get a lot of unwarranted advice, for real. But just listen.
Especially in content creation and music.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of bad. Oh my gosh. I mean, in both music and content creation, like there's been a lot of not so good advice I've received. You should do this. You should do that. You should do this. You should do that. And I did it, and it didn't work out. At the end of the day, just listen.
And if you see that,
Mekel was training with that. And on that note, next time on Dragon Ball Z, people. Next time, will Mekel make it out alive? Will Studio Nicktendo get over this heart attack he's having right now? Find out next time on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yo, for real, I was like, give me your strength. Yo, okay, so oh God, okay, so that's the cue. I got a last question. Did you have fun? Are you okay?
Me? I had a blast. I had a blast, man. I had a blast. This was great. The jokes aside on that, this was great. This was a good conversation. I'm gonna be real with you. It was a great conversation. There's nothing better than having another conversation with somebody who you have in common with, such as content creation, and comparing notes, comparing experiences, and then sharing those experiences with other people who might be in the same boat as you. It's great because it's good to know that even though like you have a bigger channel than me, but we go through the same stuff. You know what I mean? Go through the same struggles. Go through the same struggles with creating content. Go through the same struggles with the community. Go through the same struggles of people trying to, clout chase, all that stuff. It's good to know that you ain't alone. Because sometimes you feel like that. Like sometimes you just feel like it. You feel like, hey man, this is crazy. I can't believe this happened to me. But then you hear stories about, oh yeah, something similar happened so. And you hear that, you're like, all right, cool. This is
so. Why do I feel like I'm alone when it comes to hunting water buffaloes and sea lions?
Because that was you. That was you. That was you. I'm not gonna say nothing. My wife is watching. I'm not gonna say anything to incriminate myself or my marriage. I want to be quiet. My wife was a dime. All right, she was number one back in the day. She's still number one now in my heart.
Oh, I was about to say, hold up, was correction.
Still number one in my heart.
She said, say it.
Nothing. I'm just not gonna say nothing. She knows what I'm about to say. She knows exactly what I'm about to say.
Oh God.
I wasn't about the buffalo. I was about the donkey, the badunkadunk.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm about that. Like, well, no, I'm happily married now. We going on 4 years now.
Congratulations. 4 years.
Really, really happy about it. My wife has been the best thing to happen to me because she puts up with my crazy ass and my bullshit.
Me too. Me too, sir. My wife is great. I tell you what, I got the best wife in the world. For real. Because I do a lot of stupid stuff. And I do a lot of, like, I don't think anybody else, like, for real, I'll be real. It's good to have that support. Because, like, the fact that I'm doing content creation, making music, there's not a lot of women that will put up with that. I'm gonna be real. Because that's a lot of time you got to spend away from them and family. They'll edit and do whatever. And it takes a strong person to support somebody in that, especially when there's no returns coming right now. Woo! Good, strong person. I appreciate it. I love my wife for that. For real. Like real talk. I love my wife for that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, to anyone who's a creator out there, be it music, if you're doing music, doing YouTube, you're doing podcasting, whatever, if you got a partner that's got your back, that's ride or die, that's with you through not only the good times, but when you struggling wondering how the next bill gonna get paid, and then that goes to how you gonna make your next meal. When you got a partner that sticks with you through that, man,
you got it. Just say what it is. You got it. Like you got it, because that's just what it is. That's vital. You got it. So, but I had fun. I had fun tonight, though. For real. I really appreciate you having me on, talking about all that stuff. I plan on. I know we plan on talking about music more, but I think we got into a whole different thing that needed to be talked about.
We did. The other thing too. Tell people where they can find you, man. Anything you're working on, anything people can be excited for, and also people, if you're watching and you haven't subbed to Studio Nicktendo yet, don't make me dox you and come beat your ass.
So right now, I mentioned earlier, I'm working on. So I do video game covers on my channel, and a style that I like, heavier rock and roll, a little metal, a little pop punk, a little hardcore type stuff. It's a wide variety in that genre. I don't just stick to like one thing. But right now I've gotten to a point to where I know what I want to do. For a while there, I was just putting out video after video after video, and there was a direction, but it wasn't direction. So I've come to a conclusion that I want to do more album-based projects as well as singles. So I'm getting ready to. Right now, I'm waiting for it to pass the licensing. But right now in the works, I got a Final Fantasy VII remake album coming to streaming services. I cannot wait for that. That was some good work. I did a few of my favorite songs from that soundtrack, because that soundtrack is phenomenal. Final Fantasy VII OST is it was already good when it was on the PlayStation 1, but then for them to do it how they did it this time around, phenomenal. So I decided to take a few from there and do that, as well as the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 album on the way. I'm working on that currently. And then, like I said, I do some singles where I do like Persona 5 covers, Animal Crossing, stuff like that. Right now, I'm working on another Persona 5 cover. I put a Persona 5 cover up last week for Life Will Change. Next week's going to be another one, because I'm currently playing Royal. So you can see a trend. Normally, I just cover based on what I'm playing. So that's how it's been going. I love the game. So be on the lookout for that. Like I mentioned, not just YouTube. If you got Spotify, hit that follow button and check out a song or two. That goes a very, very long way. So Spotify is a big one. So, but like I said, appreciate you, man. For real. Appreciate you, man.
And I'm dropping links to everything right now, if you haven't already.
Make that Spotify in there. You already got it. So there you go. There you go. The YouTube and the Spotify are the big two. If you got Apple Music, I'm on there too. Studio Nicktendo.
I was going to say, since you're doing music, and I know I spoke to Avidan about this before too, because this is something that one of my friends, Harris Heller, Stream Doctor, he started doing this. He's got stream beats, and it's a brilliant idea that I'm seeing people haven't taken off. And this is something, maybe you and maybe Avidan, y'all could probably dive into it, because I see this is an untapped market. But making royalty-free stream music for content creators on Twitch, you could definitely do something with that, because it's hard trying to find, like, unless you got these sites you can sign up for royalty-free, but
right.
But I'm just saying, like, I know Harris is
like making tracks specifically for content creators. Yeah, that's a big thing, because there's you got those websites out there, but then everybody's using those websites and everybody's kind of has the same stuff. If you start making royalty free music for people, their own individual sound and track, that goes a long way. That might be something I could look into. Definitely. hit me up. If anybody needs something, hit me up, or Avidan. One or the other, or we'll collab and do something together.
Yeah. So, hey, don't hit me up if you're a buffalo or a sea lion. Look, them days is behind me. Okay, that was one day. I literally so I saw y'all in the chat on Twitch. Y'all over here like, yo, he said, "Are you okay?" And then somebody's like, "Bust up, whoop." Yeah, I was on the Terry Bogard life. Okay. Okay, we gonna end this so I don't dignity. But thank y'all for watching. You can catch this episode of the podcast. It's simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. I don't give a damn what Twitch says. It's going to simulcast in video format, or it already is, on YouTube and on Twitch. And you can catch it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. If you listen to it on Apple Podcasts, please do me a huge favor. I really ask if you enjoy the show, leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, you enjoy it, leave a like. It's engagement. It helps out. It lets these platforms know you enjoy it. So definitely do that. Shut up, Rogue. That furry club. That was I was not ready for that. Look. Okay, there's a story behind that. You motherfucker, I was trying to hit this damn stream. See, what had happened was, I got to explain myself. What happened was, she says the new club is the spot to be at. Look, I didn't know it's a furry spot, okay? I ain't no damn furry. I don't bop feathers and other stuff like that, okay? I like humans, female of the variety, okay? Now, don't put that evil on me, Rogue. I don't mess with furries. Okay, so with that out the way, if you enjoy it, you really want to support, we got Patreon, channel memberships on YouTube, we got subs on Twitch, and donations. And with that being said, people, this is Studio Nicktendo and Mekel Kasanova. We signing out. I'm leaving with my damn dignity, and we'll catch y'all. Oh my gosh. Hey, did you enjoy this episode of the Kasanova Podcast? Well, I'm sure you did. And since you did, and you're wondering where else you can find it on every podcasting outlet. Yes, that includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Launchpad DM by Podcast One, and so much more. And the only thing I ask of you is if you truly enjoyed it, even if you didn't enjoy it, please leave a rating and tell us what you thought of it, what you like, what you didn't like, and everything in between. And also, if you're looking for video formats of this podcast and many more, you'll be able to find them on youtube.com/Mekel Kasanova, as well as on twitch.tv/Mekel Kasanova, and new episodes every single Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, with that being said, this is Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber. I am signing out. You guys have a great one.